Chapter 12-17. Originally, Tianlong's idea was to force Sun Jia to call Yang Ming and use the same trick again. He would find a way to trick Yang Ming to a certain place, and then he would catch him in one fell swoop. However, with Sun Jia's character, this possibility was small because Sun Jia was not a person who could be coerced. It was probably not feasible for her to call Yang Ming and trick Yang Ming. However, the result of the matter was likely to be that Sun Jia would tell Yang Ming not to be fooled, or say something else that was unfavorable to Tianlong. Instead of this, it was better for Tianlong to call Yang Ming himself, tell him that Sun Jia was in his hands, and ask him to meet him somewhere. However, this would depend on whether Yang Ming really cared about Sun Jia. It was a bit risky. Tianlong did not dare to take such a method now. Only when he was 100% sure that Yang Ming cared about Sun Jia very much, could he use such an extreme method. Tombstone's residence was located in the Hillman's villas on the west side of the Huaxiang district. It was similar to the villa area in the Huaxiang district, but there were fewer multi-story and high-rise buildings. There were no buildings for sale, only villas. It could be said that it was specially designed for the rich. The Hillman's villas were developed earlier. Tombstone bought a second-hand villa from a rich businessman who was going abroad. The interior was already decorated properly, and the full set of supporting facilities was also very complete, so it was suitable for people like Tombstone who did not bring any luggage to live directly. The villa was very large, and the price was naturally not cheap. However, Tombstone was not short of money. As an assassin, he had more than $100 million in savings. It was also due to the nature of his profession that he was not married and had no family. He really did not know how to spend the money. For Tombstone, money was just a number. His only mission was to be filial to the organization and the butterfly family. Therefore, Tombstone bought this villa without any heartache. When the rich man sold the villa, he saw that Tombstone was dressed very ordinarily and did not look like a rich person at all. He thought that Tombstone was just asking casually, so he reported a relatively low price. He did not expect Tombstone to nod and agree directly. He took the rich man to transfer the villa and swiped the card to transfer the money without even blinking. Only then did the tycoon realize that this guy was hiding his strength. It seemed like he was even richer than him. The rich man regretted that he had quoted a lower price. Fortunately, he was also in a hurry to go abroad, not to make money by speculating in real estate. Therefore, it was rare to meet such a straightforward buyer like Tombstone. There were many rooms in the villa. Tombstone casually arranged a guest room for Wang Kejin. "Marshal uncle, is there anything else?" Wang Kejin asked. "It's okay. You go and rest. I'm going to call the family head." Tombstone waved his hand and said, "Okay, Marshal uncle, I'll go back to my room first." Wang Kejin knew that when Tombstone made the call, he needed to leave, so he turned around and went upstairs to his own room. Tombstone, on the other hand, called Butler Mu in the family. The family master, Wang Songshan, would not answer the phone directly. Only when there was something important would Butler Mu transfer the phone to Wang Songshan's room. "Butler Mu, this is Tombstone." After the call was connected, Tombstone said, "It's Tombstone. I haven't contacted you for a long time." "Why? Is there anything important? Is it about Miss?" Butler Mu naturally wouldn't neglect Tombstone's call. It was about Wang Xiaoyan, so it was of the utmost importance. "Is the master resting? I have something to talk to him about." Tombstone asked. "No, I'll help you connect." Butler Mu did not ask much because Tombstone's current mission was quite special. Some things really had to be discussed with the family master in person to decide. Butler Mu could not make the decision for Wang Songshan. "Okay." Tombstone was naturally very respectful to Butler Moo. Although Butler Moo did not have actual control of the assassin organization, he was one of the trusted people around the master. After a while, the phone was connected, and Wang Songshan's voice came from the other side. Tombstone, what's the matter? Master, this is the case. Tombstone quickly said, Wang Kejin came to Songjiang to perform a mission. His assassination target is Yang Ming. N. Wang Songshan immediately attracted attention. You mean Yang Ming? Yanyan's boyfriend? Yes, the description of the mission is to let Wang Kejin kill Yang Ming and also kill his girlfriend. Tombstone explained, when Wang Kejin appeared, Yang Ming and Miss were together, so Wang Kejin made a move. Ah. He has already made a move. How is Yanyan? Is she injured? Wang Songshan immediately asked in a hurry when he heard that Wang Kejin made a move. However, after asking, before Tombstone could speak, he laughed self-deprecatingly. Hee, look at me. I'm really anxious. With Yang Ming, that kid, following Yanyan, how can anything happen to Yanyan? That kid, Old Fong, is called the King of Assassins in vain. Yang Ming did not make a move. It was Miss who made the move. However, at the moment of crisis, when Yang Ming and I were about to appear, Miss actually used the butterfly dance micro steps. Tombstone said. Oh. Wang Songshan's eyes widened in surprise after he heard it. You're saying that Yanyan used the butterfly dance's subtle steps. How is this possible? She learned it for a few days and gave up because she felt that it was difficult. Why did she suddenly? I also find it very strange. Tombstone shook his head and said, I haven't seen First Miss practice the butterfly dance's subtle steps here, but she just had to use it. Maybe she broke through her limits in a moment of desperation. That should be the case, but it's fine as long as Yanyan is fine. Wang Songshan breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Kejin, this kid, is really daring. He even provoked the apprentice of the King of Assassins. Yeah, this kid is quite lucky. At that time, if Miss didn't make a move and Yang Ming didn't directly make a move, Wang Kejin would probably be. Tombstone smiled bitterly. I'm not Yang Ming's opponent. And that guy, Old Fong, is really good at training apprentices, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to beat him soon. Wang Songshan felt happy when he thought about it. Tombstone didn't understand what Wang Songshan was talking about, but he couldn't ask. When Yanyan and Yang Ming give birth to a grandson for me, I will be the grandfather of the new generation of King of Assassins. The butterfly family will really become the world's #1. Wang Songshan couldn't help but say excitedly. Because Tombstone was also a veteran of the family, Wang Songshan didn't hide anything in front of him. Tombstone was also very clear about these inside stories. Tombstone was speechless. He wanted to say something, but he still held back. What he wanted to say was that it was hard to say whether the butterfly family would still be surnamed Wang at that time. However, he didn't want to attack Wang Songshan at this time. Master, Wang Kejin is now in my residence. I am also going to train him alone. He is considered the best among the third generation of the family, said Tombstone. This is no problem. Then let him stay in Songjiang. He doesn't need to come back first. Wang Songshan agreed directly. He still trusted Tombstone in the internal affairs of the assassin group. Wang Songshan would not interfere with Tombstone's suggestions as long as they were reasonable. There is one more thing. Wang Kejin came to Songjiang this time with a mission to assassinate 2 leaders of a local gang. However, these 2 leaders are Yang Ming's friends. Miss also knows them. At that time, Yang Ming stopped him. Later, I also asked Wang Kejin to cancel the mission, reported Tombstone. And, since they know each other, then cancel it. Wang Songshan said, Tombstone, you did a good job. You can make a decision on some things based on your discretion. Yes, Master, replied Tombstone. How is the relationship between Yan Yan and Yang Ming? I heard you say a while ago that she went on a trip with Yang Ming, asked Wang Songshan. The relationship between the two seems to be good. Miss should have fallen in love with Yang Ming. Otherwise, she can't protect him all the time. Tombstone said, it's just that Yang Ming's other private life is a bit messy. This is not a problem. Yan Yan herself didn't say anything, so I can't interfere. After all, he is the king of assassins. He is well matched with us. If we talk about it, he is even higher than us. So, don't worry about these things. Let Yan Yan handle it herself. Wang Songshan was more open-minded. In fact, this was also due to the previous agreement. Since the generation of Fang Tian's master, the marriage between Fang Tian and Wang Songshan's sister was set. At that time, Fang Tian was unwilling, and Wang Songshan's father had already made it clear that Fang Tian was allowed to marry another wife outside. However, Fang Tian was more single-minded and stubborn, which caused the tragedy of the previous generation. However, the rules were passed down. In other words, as a member of the butterfly family, Wang Songshan had no right to interfere with how many wives Yang Ming would marry. As long as Wang Xiaoyan agreed, then he had nothing to say. Yan Yan didn't notice your presence, right? Asked Wang Songshan after he finished speaking. She didn't, but Yang Ming should have noticed. He should have guessed that I was secretly protecting Miss, but he didn't expose me, said Tombstone. With Yang Ming's keen insight, Tombstone believed that he didn't have the ability to completely hide from Yang Ming. Oh. Yang Ming noticed you, asked Wang Songshan after listening. Then he should have told Old Fang about you. I don't know if Old Fang told Yang Ming our true identity. If he did, then it wouldn't be fun. I don't think so. Tombstone thought about it and said, Yang Ming should not know that we are members of the butterfly family, including Yan Yan. That's good, that's good. I really want to see what Yan Yan's expression will be when she knows the truth. Wang Songshan couldn't help but laugh when he said this. Yan Yan wanted to escape the marriage and run to Songjiang. I didn't expect that she would meet her future husband in the end. Moreover, they got together early. Tombstone couldn't help but smile after listening. If he hadn't seen Yang Ming use some of Fang Tian's exclusive skills when he fought with Yang Ming for the first time and had doubts about Yang Ming, he would have already separated Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan. Tombstone's mission here was to protect Wang Xiaoyan, but he also had the intention of secretly monitoring Wang Xiaoyan. If Wang Xiaoyan really fell in love here, he would definitely stop it. However, Tombstone had secretly investigated Yang Ming and saw Yang Ming and Fang Tian together, so he immediately understood that Yang Ming was the apprentice of the king of assassins, Fang Tian. He was also the new king of assassins and Miss Fiancée. Otherwise, how could Tombstone and Wang Songshan let Wang Xiaoyan fall in love with a strange man and live together? Of course, Wang Xiaoyan didn't know about this. Wang Xiaoyan didn't notice the existence of Tombstone. She thought that her father, Wang Xiaoyan, didn't know about everything here. Wang Xiaoyan was waiting for her Black Butterfly assassin group to make some achievements before she told her father about Yang Ming. When she had some achievements, she believed that her father couldn't stop her from being with Yang Ming. I guess that Senior Fang Tian should have guessed the identity of the Mississippi. Before the Miss and Yang Ming went abroad, they had visited Senior Fang Tian together. Senior Fang Tian seemed to have a good impression of the Miss, said Tombstone. Hey, Old Fang is a cunning guy. How could he not discover it? He must have discovered it long ago. As Wang Songshan said this, he suddenly snorted. This guy, old Fong, must have guessed it long ago. No, I have to call him. Master, is there anything else? Do you need to tell me? Tombstone saw that everything was explained, so he asked. Nothing. Right, you tell them to investigate carefully to see who wants to kill Yang Ming and Yen Yen. They actually dared to make a move on my baby daughter. They really don't want to live. Wang Songhan said coldly, find him. You send Wang Kejin over to kill him. Yes, master. Tombstone quickly agreed. However, Wang Songhan didn't take it seriously that someone wanted to kill Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan because Wang Xiaoyan's skills were not weak, and Yang Ming was by her side. Even if Yang Ming was not there, there was still Tombstone, so Wang Songhan was not worried about this at all. However, he still had to find the murderer behind the scenes. Wang Songhan hung up Tombstone's phone call and was about to call Fong Tian, but Butler Mu's voice came from outside the study. Master, it's a call from Miss. Oh. Quickly transfer it to me. Wang Songhan heard that it was Wang Xiaoyan's phone call and quickly instructed Butler Mu. In Wang Songshan's castle, there were many phones. One was busy, and another was busy. Obviously, Wang Xiaoyan must have called the previous one and found that the line was busy, so she called another one. The call was transferred, and Wang Xiaoyan's voice came from the other side. It's me. Why don't you even call me Dad? Wang Songhan had been in a particularly cheerful mood since he learned that Wang Xiaoyan's boyfriend in Songjiang was Yang Ming, Fong Tian's apprentice. He no longer worried about Wang Xiaoyan. Dad. Wang Xiaoyan said faintly. Wang Xiaoyan didn't know that her father already knew about Yang Ming. In Wang Xiaoyan's heart, her father, Wang Songhan, was still indifferent and ruthless. Hee, baby Yen Yen, why are you calling Dad? What's the matter? Wang Songhan asked with a smile. There is an assassin named Wang Kejin in the family's assassin group. He came to Songjiang to perform a mission. I asked him to cancel the mission. Wang Xiaoyan said until here and paused. Because Wang Xiaoyan knew that Yang Ming's matter couldn't be hidden anymore. Even if she didn't say it, Wang Kejin would definitely say it. In front of her and her father, Wang Kejin would definitely choose to be loyal to her father instead of her, the miss. After Wang Kejin returned to the family, he would definitely report his encounter with Wang Xiaoyan in Songjiang. Such news would definitely reach her father's ears. At that time, her father would definitely ask Wang Kejin in detail about what mission he was carrying out in Songjiang and why he wanted to assassinate Wang Xiaoyan. At that time, Wang Kejin would definitely tell the truth and say that he came to assassinate Yang Ming and his girlfriend. In this way, Yang Ming's matter would inevitably be exposed in front of her father. At that time, when her father found her again, Wang Xiaoyan would definitely be in a passive position. Therefore, Wang Xiaoyan hesitated again and decided to call her father personally to tell him about her and Yang Ming. At the same time, Wang Xiaoyan also decided to be firm with her father. No matter what her father said, she would not be separated from Yang Ming. However, how to talk to her father and the wording had become Wang Xiaoyan's problem. Wang Xiaoyan called her father's residence, but she found that the line was busy. She called again, but the line was still busy. After calling a few more times, the line was still busy. Wang Xiaoyan wanted to give up. People were like this. Once they made up their minds to do something, they must do it immediately. Once there was a delay, they would waver and hesitate. Yang Ming. I'm scared. Wang Xiaoyan put the phone on the table weakly. Her whole body was curled up in Yang Ming's arms. Wang Xiaoyan had just discussed with Yang Ming. Wang Xiaoyan decided to formally talk to her father about her future and marriage. The Black Butterfly assassin group had improved. This was obvious to all. This was a solid achievement. Especially this time, they had merged with the world's second-largest assassin group, the Charles family. The strength of the Black Butterfly assassin group had improved a lot. Wang Xiaoyan already had enough capital to compete with her father. Although she had not yet reached the goal of being the world's first, Wang Xiaoyan believed that this goal would be achieved in time. There is nothing to be afraid of. Don't forget that the capital in your hands is not bad. Yang Ming cheered Wang Xiaoyan up. You now have the Black Butterfly assassin group and the Charles family in your hands. What are you afraid of? That's right. I have the capital now. Wang Xiaoyan nodded and was full of confidence again, so she picked up the phone and dialed the phone number of her father's other phone. As a result, the previous scene had occurred. Chapter 12:18. And I already know. Wang Kejin has already reported it. Wang Songshan did not say anything about Tombstone. Following Wang Xiaoyan was a secret, so Wang Songshan directly said that Wang Kejin told him, not Tombstone. However, this was not unexpected because Wang Kejin was responsible for the assassin group. If there was a problem here, he would definitely report it to the assassin group immediately. He has already said it. Wang Xiaoyan's heart was subconsciously shocked. Since Wang Kejin had already said it, then he must have also said about Yang Ming. However, her father's tone doesn't seem to be condemning me. This made Wang Xiaoyan slightly puzzled. Yes. Wang Songshan said, even if you didn't call me, I would have called you. So it's like this. For some reason, Wang Xiaoyan, who was originally full of confidence, felt a little guilty at the moment. She wanted to tell her father about Yang Ming personally, but now, her father should have known it in advance. Why didn't her father mention it? You have a boyfriend, in Songjiang. Wang Songshan saw Wang Xiaoyan stuttering. How could he not guess Wang Xiaoyan's thoughts at the moment? A father knows his daughter best. Most likely, Wang Xiaoyan called back this time to tell him the truth. However, he got the news from Tombstone in advance, so Wang Xiaoyan didn't know how to speak. Since Wang Xiaoyan didn't know how to speak, Wang Songshan simply spoke first. Anyway, he was very much in favor of Wang Xiaoyan and Yang Ming being together. Even if Wang Xiaoyan wanted to break up with Yang Ming, Wang Songshan would not agree. It was just that he couldn't say it out loud. Although Wang Songshan was already old, who didn't have a childish temper? In the past, his daughter ran away from home and put him in an awkward position. Wang Songshan was very annoyed. Although he also understood Wang Xiaoyan's difficulties, Wang Xiaoyan's approach was a bit extreme. Therefore, at this moment, there was an opportunity to make Wang Xiaoyan worried. Wang Songshan still had to seize it. Of course, this was only a secondary reason. The main reason was that Fang Tian had not revealed it to Yang Ming. How could Wang Songshan reveal it first? It was better to let the two children develop naturally. It would not be nice to reveal the identity early. If it affected the relationship between the two, then he would be a sinner. Ah! Wang Xiaoyan was shocked. Although she had guessed that her father already knew about Yang Ming's matter, she still couldn't help but be surprised when she heard her father say it personally. Don't be surprised. Wang Kejin's mission is to assassinate a person named Yang Ming and his girlfriend. Wang Songshan said calmly, however, it was an assassination attempt on your head. How can I not guess your relationship with Yang Ming? Could it be that I made a mistake? Are you just ordinary friends? No. Dad, you didn't make a mistake. At this time, Wang Xiaoyan could completely deny it. Since she denied it, Wang Songshan was too embarrassed to continue to expose her, so this matter was over. However, Wang Xiaoyan nodded and admitted, he is my boyfriend. We are already together. Oh. Sure enough. After Wang Songshan heard it, he said faintly, however, someone promised me that she would quietly finish high school and college outside and then come back to get married. She would never have a boyfriend outside, right? Or did I remember it wrong? Wang Xiaoyan's face suddenly blushed. This ambition was indeed what she said when she ran away from home. Now that she thought about it, she broke her promise. How could Wang Xiaoyan's face not be hot? Wang Xiaoyan was embarrassed and said, however, I also said that as long as I can establish the world's #1 assassin group before I get married, I cannot marry that person and pursue my own life. And, you did say that. Wang Songshan nodded. But did you create the world's #1 assassin group? Wang Xiaoyan was suddenly speechless. Indeed, she had not created the world's #1 assassin group, so in theory, Wang Xiaoyan did not have the right to love freely. I have seen the Black Butterfly assassin group that you created. Not bad. You can actually go to Africa to complete a special mission. Wang Songshan smiled. Yan, you did a good job. For the first time, Dad is impressed by you. You know all about it. Wang Xiaoyan was a little surprised that her father actually knew that her assassin group had been renamed to the Black Butterfly Assassin Group. But after thinking about it carefully, it was understandable. Her name change was announced on the World Assassin platform, so as long as her father saw the announcement, he would know that the current Black Butterfly Assassin Group was created by her. I saw the announcement. Naturally, I knew. Wang Songshan seemed to be in a good mood. So, I won't say much about you getting a boyfriend, but I want to remind you that although the Black Butterfly Assassin Group is now ranked very high and has entered the top 50, it will take a lot of effort to surpass our butterfly family. Don't be happy too early. The higher the ranking, the harder it is to break through. This is the reason why our butterfly family has not surpassed the King of Assassins for so many years. Just one mission from him is equivalent to hundreds of normal missions from us. You see, the Charles family has always wanted to surpass us, but they are always a little short. After so many years, they are still a little short. This point determines the fundamental difference between the two of you. Dear Dad, I want to tell you a very unfortunate thing. Wang Xiaoyan listened to her father's words and was a little dissatisfied. The Charles family has decided to work with our Black Butterfly Assassin Group. What? Charles family? Work with you? What do you mean? Wang Songshan was stunned and suddenly said in surprise. He had not heard of this news. After all, Tombstone did not follow Wang Xiaoyan and Yang Ming to Europe. He did not know what happened to them in Europe. He was shocked when he heard the news. The Charles family is going to entrust their assassin group to our Black Butterfly Assassin Group. We will be in charge of running it. Old Charles only wants a portion of the dividends every year. Wang Xiaoyan said proudly. Although these were all negotiated by Yang Ming, in any case, Yang Ming was her man. In Wang Xiaoyan's view, it was as if she had fought for it herself. Yan, are you telling the truth? Wang Songshan listened to Wang Xiaoyan's words and widened his eyes. He didn't think that old Charles was crazy. How could he hand over the management of such a big assassin organization to a newly established Black Butterfly assassin group that was not well known? This is incredible. How is this possible? Of course, it is true. Wang Xiaoyan said affirmatively. Although Wang Xiaoyan did not hear what old Charles said, these were told by Yang Ming, and Yang Ming would not lie to her, so Wang Xiaoyan was so sure. Old Charles, he handed over the assassin group to you to run. Wang Songshan still did not believe it. Yan, you are not lying to Dad, right? This is not the time to joke. Dad, I really didn't lie to you. In a few days, we will go to Europe to talk to the Charles family about this. Wang Xiaoyan explained with a dumbfounded expression. It was understandable that her father did not believe it. When Wang Xiaoyan first heard the news, she was also shocked. It took a long time to accept this fact. If it were not for her trust in Yang Ming, maybe Wang Xiaoyan would not believe it now. Yan, I still don't believe it. Why would old Charles hand over his assassin group to you? You know, the Black Butterfly is just a newly established assassin group. Asked Wang Songshan. Old Charles handed the assassin group to us for a reason. Wang Xiaoyan explained, Old Charles's son, Little Charles, is a racer. I believe you know this, right? I know this. Wang Songshan said, that kid seems to be unwilling to inherit the family business. He wants to be a racer, and he really made a name for himself. At that time, it seemed that he and Old Charles had an agreement that as long as he won the world championship in the racing competition, he could live his own life. Every family has its own difficulties. Yan, I just found out now that you are better than Little Charles. Of course. Wang Xiaoyan snorted proudly. At least I still like the assassin profession. This is the reason I want to say. Old Charles is getting older and older, and there is no one to take care of the family business. Little Charles is also unwilling to inherit the family business, so he can only entrust the assassin group to someone else. He just needs to get some dividends every year. It's like this. Wang Songshan nodded after listening, but he still had some doubts. But you are a newly established assassin group. Although you are growing rapidly, there is no reason for Old Charles to be convinced. Even if he wants to entrust it, he should entrust it to some of the top-ranking veteran assassin groups. Wait. Speaking of this, Wang Songshan suddenly thought of something. He patted his head and asked, Yan, did you tell Old Charles that you are my daughter? Did you reveal the identity of the butterfly family? No. Wang Xiaoyan smiled bitterly. When I left home, I said that I don't want to rely on the power of the family. I want to make a career with my own ability. Of course, I won't tell others about the identity of the butterfly family. However, this Old Charles was talked to by Yang Ming. I don't know the details. Right, Dad, I haven't told you yet, right? Yang Ming is also an assassin. He is very powerful. Wang Songshan certainly knew that Yang Ming was an assassin. However, he was a little surprised after listening to Wang Xiaoyan's words. It turns out that Yang Ming was the one who settled Old Charles. It seems that Fang Tian's apprentice is also a talent. I have already guessed it. Wang Kejin also said before that Yang Ming knows Kung Fu. Wang Songshan naturally wouldn't say that he already knew Yang Ming's identity. Instead, he pushed the responsibility to Wang Kejin. Which organization does he belong to? He doesn't belong to any organization. He is a freelance assassin. Wang Xiaoyan said, a lot of things happened between him and me, so... Dad, you don't oppose us. To be honest, I was against it before, but I heard you say that he actually pocketed Old Charles's family business. He is indeed a talent, Wang Songshan said. However, not opposing doesn't mean that I agree. Everything still depends on your strength. If you don't make the Black Butterfly Assassin Group the world's #1 within the specified time, then you still have to come back and get engaged to the King of Assassins apprentice. Although Wang Xiaoyan didn't get a satisfactory answer, her father's attitude now was very different from before. This made Wang Xiaoyan relieved in her heart. How did he do it? Wang Songshan didn't continue on this topic, but asked. I don't know. I didn't ask in detail. We just came back from a mission in Europe. Wang Xiaoyan said, I just want to tell you about us. I really like him, or rather, I love him. Yan Yan, are you sure you are in love with him? Wang Songshan was eager for Wang Xiaoyan to fall in love with Yang Ming. I am sure. Wang Xiaoyan said affirmatively. Well, then you hold on to it. I won't comment on this now. Wang Songshan said, rest early. I want to call old Charles and ask him what's going on. Okay. Wang Xiaoyan was telling the truth. She wasn't afraid that her father would verify it. It would be better if he could verify it. When Wang Xiaoyan hung up the phone, Yang Ming came over. Wang Xiaoyan and her father were talking, so it was inconvenient for Yang Ming to listen. So, after the call was connected, Yang Ming walked away. How is it? Yan Yan, asked Yang Ming. My father. He didn't say anything about our matter. He didn't support it, nor did he oppose it. In short, let's finish the assassin group as soon as possible. Wang Xiaoyan said. It doesn't matter. We still have time, don't we? Yang Ming didn't feel anything in his heart. In the end, he could reveal his identity and tell Wang Xiaoyan's father that he was the apprentice of the king of assassins, which meant that he would be the world's #1 in the future. In this way, the Black Butterfly Assassin Group would become the organization run by the king of assassins, and naturally become the world's #1. Yeah, we still have time. Wang Xiaoyan listened to Yang Ming's words, and her courage increased. At most, I will be pregnant with your child. Let's see what my father can do. He will kill you. Yang Ming was shocked after hearing it. He didn't expect Wang Xiaoyan to do such a bold thing. Not to mention Wang Xiaoyan's father, any father would go crazy when he heard that his daughter was unmarried and pregnant with someone else's child during college. It was even more so for a big family like Wang Xiaoyan. That's a child with 2 lives, as long as he can do it. Wang Xiaoyan smiled indifferently. At that time, he has no choice but to accept reality. That's true. Anyway, Yang Ming still had a backup plan, so he was not very worried at the moment. Yeah, let's work hard now. As Wang Xiaoyan said, she wrapped her arms around Yang Ming's neck and whispered in Yang Ming's ear. Work hard for what? Yang Ming was tempted by Wang Xiaoyan, but he still asked. Being pregnant with your child. Wang Xiaoyan blinked. Wang Songshan naturally didn't care about this. Even if Wang Xiaoyan was pregnant with Yang Ming's child, Wang Songshan would only be happier. After dialing old Charles's phone, Wang Songshan quietly waited for the other side to answer. Although Wang Songshan and old Charles were second and third on the assassin list, they had a good relationship with each other. Because they were both in Europe and were both Chinese, the two would usually call and greet each other. Butler Zhou. Please transfer to Mr. Old Charles. I am Wang Songshan. Wang Songshan said to the other side of the phone. Is this Mr. Wang from the Butterfly family? Hello, Butler Zhou has retired. I am the person who replaced his position. My surname is Zhang. The man on the other side said respectfully. It's Butler Zhang. Hello. Wang Songshan did not expect Butler Zhou to retire. Mr. Wang, please wait a moment. I have transferred the phone to Mr. Charles's room. Butler Zhang said. After a while, old Charles's voice came from the phone. Hello. Is this Songshan? It's me. Wang Songshan said, Old Charles, I heard that you are going to hand over your assassin group to someone else. You know. Old Charles did not find it strange because he had already guessed the relationship between Wang Xiaoyan and the Butterfly family, so it was not surprising that Wang Songshan knew about this. Did your daughter say it? Yes, you know about Yan Yan. Wang Songshan was a little surprised that old Charles actually knew about Wang Xiaoyan. I guessed it, but it was not confirmed. The person who came to talk to me did not know the identity of Wang Xiaoyan, so I did not ask much. Old Charles said, however, I remember that your daughter seems to be called Wang Xiaoyan. That is Yan Yan's boyfriend. Wang Songshan said, however, I am puzzled. You actually handed over the assassin group to them. Is this not wise? Old Charles laughed. That's not it, but Yan Yan is still a child. Although she has made some achievements. Wang Songshan was interrupted by old Charles halfway through his words. No, no. Old Charles waved his hand. Don't you know? Yan Yan's boyfriend, Yang Ming, is the descendant of the king of assassins, Fang Tian. Ah. You know it too. Wang Songshan was surprised and immediately understood that old Charles was interested in this. Of course, I know. If I didn't know, how could I entrust the assassin group to him? And this is what I am interested in. Old Charles said, I am not as lucky as you to find a good son-in-law. My son is disappointing and does not come back to inherit the assassin group. I can only entrust the assassin group to others. What else can I do? No wonder. Wang Songshan suddenly realized that old Charles was relieved to entrust the assassin group to Yang Ming after learning about Yang Ming's life experience. Chapter 12:19. I thought you were interested in our butterfly family's ability. Wang Songshan complained sourly. Your butterfly family is just older than my Charles family. In terms of the average number of tasks completed per year, we are not much worse than you. Old Charles said, how can I be willing to entrust this to you? Then you are willing to entrust it to my son-in-law. Huh, isn't it the same? Speaking of this, Wang Songshan couldn't help but laugh proudly. Old Charles snorted unhappily, your son-in-law? I don't think so. If I had a daughter, she would definitely snatch it from you. But I'm old, so it's impossible. I'll talk to my son tomorrow. If he can't get married, then we'll become sworn brothers with Yang Ming. This is a good idea. Your idea is really shameless. Wang Songshan curled his lips disdainfully after listening. But in any case, Wang Songshan was still very happy in his heart. His daughter was really a blessing. It seemed that her decision to run away from home was very correct. Not only did she find the King of Assassins' apprentice as her boyfriend, but even old Charles's assassin family was fooled together. After hanging up the phone call with old Charles, Wang Songshan dialed the phone to Fang Tian again. He was ready to ridicule Fang Tian. He knew the truth for so long, but he didn't tell him, causing his relationship with Wang Xiaoyan's father to be so tense. It was only resolved today. Fang Tian lay quietly in the rocking chair, drinking a little wine and looking at the small 21-inch color TV on the table. Yang Ming and Dong Jun wanted to change a bigger TV for Fang Tian several times, but Fang Tian said that he was not used to it. He had been watching this color TV for decades, and he couldn't get used to it suddenly changing to a bigger TV. Fang Tian insisted, and Yang Ming and Dong Jun couldn't do anything about it. However, Fang Tian squinted his eyes. Although his eyes stayed on the TV, his mind was not on the TV. Yang Ming told Fang Tian about the strange things he had encountered recently. Fang Tian's suspicion in his heart was even stronger, but everything was still speculation. There was no definite evidence, so Fang Tian was not completely sure who the behind-the-scenes person was. The phone rang, and Fang Tian picked it up. Hello? Who is it? Old man Fang. Guess who I am? Wang Songshan and Fang Tian could be said to be old friends. When the two met, there would always be some childish behavior, which surprised many people. Brat Wang. You haven't died yet. When Fong Tian heard the voice on the other side, he knew who was calling. I will definitely die after you. Wang Songshan didn't care. He snorted and said, I am 1 year younger than you. It doesn't matter. If you don't die before I die, I'll let my disciples send you off. Fong Tian said indifferently, my idea isn't bad, right? My son-in-law will kill me. Stop dreaming. Wang Songshan sneered, Old man Fong, did you already know that my daughter and Yang Ming were together? Oh, you mean this? My disciple has slept with many women. Who knows which one is your daughter? Fong Tian narrowed his eyes and deliberately wanted to anger Wang Songshan. Oh, I know. Is it because my disciple dumped your daughter? Are you here to denounce me? Your daughter is the one who was dumped. Wang Songshan was irritated by Fong Tian. I don't want to waste my breath with you. Did you already know about this? I just found out not long ago. After Yang Ming merged the Black Widow assassin group and formed the Black Butterfly assassin group, I only found out. Fong Tian also recovered his seriousness and said to Wang Songshan. Damn, you said you just found out not long ago. They just got together at that time. Wang Songshan snorted, Old man Fong, you are not honest. Why didn't you tell me when you knew? Brat Wang. Since you know when they got together, why are you here to denounce me? Fong Tian caught Wang Songshan's faulty wording and asked. This. Wang Songshan was suddenly speechless. He thought about it, and it was indeed so. It seemed that Tombstone also reported to him at that time. He and Old Man Fong were almost the same. Okay, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. I still have important things to think about here. Fong Tian was a little impatient and wanted to hang up the phone. He and Wang Songshan often talked on the phone. When they were young, they were as close as sworn brothers, so they didn't talk so much to each other. Is it still that thing? Wang Songshan also recovered his serious expression after listening. What else can it be? You should have heard that Wang Xiaoyan and Yang Ming were assassinated several times, but they were all resolved, said Fong Tian. Right, speaking of this, I still have one more thing. Previously, someone issued a mission to assassinate Yang Ming and his girlfriend. Wang Songshan said, it just happened, but the assassin recognized Yin Yan's identity. Do you suspect that it was done by one person? Asked Fong Tian. This is not the case. The person who issued the mission only gave some information about Yang Ming. He didn't mention anything about Yin Yan. He just said that it was to kill Yang Ming's girlfriend, so I don't think it should be done by the same person. Wang Songshan analyzed. Yeah, if it is really that person, his own forces are enough. There is no need to hire an assassin. Fong Tian said, since there are others involved, you are responsible for checking to see who issued the mission. You can't help me with my matters. I can only rely on myself. And then I won't bother you. I'll hang up first. Wang Songshan also knew that the matter was important. He put away his previous joking tone and said seriously. In fact, Fong Tian had been watching silently many things that happened to Yang Ming, but he didn't intervene. On the one hand, he also wanted to experience Yang Ming. On the other hand, because the current situation was not clear, it was not time for Fong Tian to do it personally. Bao Somli didn't know if he didn't check, but he was shocked when he checked. First of all, there was a serious problem with Ming Yang Entertainment's accounts. In the past few months, Ming Yang Entertainment, as the parent company of several industries, should have been in a profitable state, but the accounts were in deficit. And the deficit was very serious. They actually owed a lot of money to many suppliers. It was more than 130 million yuan. Bao Somli looked at Guo Jianchao with a pale face. At this moment, Guo Jianchao was also nervous. He didn't know what Bao Sanli would do under the thunderbolt. Although Ho Jinhan didn't speak, his face was obviously very ugly. What happened? Bao Sanli slammed the account book in his hand in front of Guo Jianchao. How can there be so much money in the account book? The Nightless Club, International Hotel, Tianzhou Entertainment City are very profitable industries. Every day, the customers are full. How can they still lose money? Brother Bao, I'm sorry. I didn't do a good job as a manager. Guo Jianchao lowered his head. At this moment, he could only hope that Bao Sanli would let him live. Didn't do a good job. Is this just a simple matter of not doing a good job? Bao Sanli's eyes were red. This money wasn't just his own money, but also Yang Ming's money. When the money was gone, Yang Ming would think that he didn't do a good job. Then, he wouldn't have a good ending. Bao Sanli had seen Yang Ming's means, so how could he be angry at this moment? Brother Bao, please punish me. Guo Jianchao was somewhat helpless, but he was the general manager of Ming Yang Entertainment. If something happened, he must be the scapegoat. Although he wasn't responsible for the money, it was more or less because he didn't do a good job as the commander, which led to the company's overall deficit. What's the use of punishing you? What I'm asking now is, where is the money? Bao Sanli snorted coldly. Money. The money was used to purchase necessities and office supplies in nightclubs and hotels. A while ago, a lot of money was spent on the renovation of the International Hotel. Guo Jianchao said carefully. Bullshit. How can you spend 130 million yuan on necessities and decorations? Are you building a house? Bao Sanli glared and scolded. This. Guo Jianchao was also somewhat helpless. Although he was the general manager, the financial power of the company was in the hands of Lu Chan, and the purchasing department was in charge of Chu Daming. Therefore, Guo Jianchao only had the overall operating rights of the company. In fact, most of the power had been divided. However, Lu Chan and Chu Daming were both Bao Sanli's confidants. They followed Bao Sanli to conquer the world. As an outsider, would Bao Sanli believe them if he complained about them in front of Bao Sanli? If he didn't handle it well, he would be in trouble. President Guo, just say it. What can't you say? Guo Jianchao's assistant was somewhat indignant. Seeing that Guo Jianchao was hesitating, he couldn't help but interrupt. Little Wang, don't talk nonsense. Guo Jianchao glared at Little Wang. Little Wang stood up for him. Guo Jianchao was grateful in his heart, but Little Wang didn't know the relationship between Chu Daming, Lu Chan, and Bao Sanli. They were friends who had gone through life and death. And you know the inside story. Bao Sanli waved his hand and interrupted Guo Jianchao's words. Then, he said to Little Wang, you tell me. What the hell is going on? Brother Bao, it's not that I want to excuse President Guo. There are some things that aren't President Guo's fault. This Ming Yang Entertainment isn't something that President Guo can decide by himself. Little Wang said hurriedly, of course, President Guo has an unshirkable responsibility as the main leader, but President Guo has the right to make decisions, but he doesn't have the right to execute. Oh. Bao Sanli frowned. He seemed to hear the meaning in Little Wang's words, but he was still very angry. He is the general manager of the company. Why can't he make decisions? Yeah, I also said that President Guo has the right to make decisions, but he doesn't have the right to execute. Little Wang straightened his chest and said loudly without fear. He was promoted by Guo Jianchao. From a little waiter with a brain to a foreman, he became a senior in the company step by step. He was naturally grateful to Guo Jianchao. Then you tell me. What do you mean by having the right to make decisions but not the right to execute? Bao Sanli appreciated Little Wang's courage to speak, but he was still a little annoyed that little Wang contradicted him. Brother Bao, although President Gua is the general manager, Vice President Liu is in charge of the company's financial power. Vice President Chu is in charge of purchasing and the specific decoration of the hotel. President Guo only has the right to make decisions. The specific execution is theirs. Speaking of this, little Wang paused. He didn't dare to continue. Ho Xinhan listened to little Wang's words. When he heard this, he had already faintly guessed something. He waved his hand and said, "Little Wang, you continue." "Yes. Brother Ho." Little Wang had Ho Xinhan's encouragement. He took a breath and continued, "Vice President Liu and Vice President Chu are the seniors in the company. They fought with Brother Bao. They always obey President Gua's orders. President Gua can't do anything to them." Little Wang's words made Bao Sanli's face become more ugly, but he didn't get angry. Because what little Wang said, he believed it. Previously, he had heard Yang Ming's dissatisfaction with Lu Chan. Now, little Wang said so. Bao Sanli was even more convinced that little Wang was telling the truth. Because little Wang was just a small assistant, even if Vice President Liu and Vice President Chu were pushed away, it wouldn't be good for him. He wouldn't be the deputy manager. Moreover, these words couldn't have been instructed by Guo Jianchao because this inspection was carried out suddenly. They didn't inform Guo Jianchao beforehand but rushed directly to the company. When the people at the company's front desk told Guo Jianchao that he and Ho Xinhan came for the inspection, Guo Jianchao wouldn't have extra time to explain anything. "You said that these accounts are usually done by Lu Chan and Chu Daming." Bao Sanli stared at the account book on the table and asked with a cold face. "Yes." Little Wang said with certainty as he straightened his chest. Even if Bao Sanli killed him at this moment, little Wang didn't care because he wanted to tell the truth. He wanted to protect Guo Jianchao. In the beginning, it was Guo Jianchao who promoted him. It was also Guo Jianchao who gave him a year's salary in advance so that he could send the college tuition fee to his sister in time. Therefore, little Wang was very grateful to Guo Jianchao. He didn't want Guo Jianchao to take the blame for Lu Chan and Chu Daming. Even if Bao Sanli didn't believe it, he had to say it. "Jianchao, is what he said true?" Ho Xinhan spoke and stared at Guo Jianchao's eyes. "Yes, Brother Ho." Guo Jianchao nodded. "Why didn't you say it before?" asked Ho Xinhan. "Before?" Guo Jianchao looked at Bao Sanli with embarrassment. Bao Sanli suddenly blushed. He snorted and said to Guo Jianchao, "Call Lu Chan and Chu Daming." "Yes." Guo Jianchao listened to Bao Sanli's tone and knew that Bao Sanli believed what little Wang said. He suddenly breathed a sigh of relief and praised little Wang's cleverness in his heart. "If I say these words, although Bao Sanli will doubt it, he probably won't believe it. He might even think that I am sowing discord and framing the company's elders." Guo Jianchao quickly picked up the internal phone on the table and dialed the secretary's phone number. "Secretary Song, help me inform Vice President Liu and Vice President Chu to come to my office." Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan didn't talk. They sat there quietly, waiting for Lu Chan and Chu Daming to come and ask. After a while, they didn't see anyone knocking on the door. Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan suddenly had some doubts. "Why is it so slow? Is your company this efficient?" Guo Jianchao could only smile bitterly at this moment. Bao Sanli sighed. "It seems that the company has reached the point where it has to be rectified. These two people have actually controlled themselves to this point. They don't even put the company's general manager in their eyes." After a while, Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan were a little impatient. The phone on Guo Jianchao's desk rang. "Hello." Guo Jianchao quickly picked up the phone. "Secretary Song, how is it?" Vice President Liu and Vice President Chu haven't come yet. What? I haven't seen these two people in the company. The security guard in the parking lot said that the two of them just drove away from the company. When did this happen? Okay. I got it. What happened? Bao Sonli also heard the general idea. It seemed that Lu Chan and Chu Daming ran away. Just now, shortly after you and Brother Ho came to the company, Vice President Liu and Vice President Chu went to the parking lot and drove away from the company. Gui Jianchao said truthfully. Just now. Did the news leak? Bao Sonli frowned. These two people know that we came to check the company's accounts. Did they abscond? I don't know. Gui Jianchao was immediately stunned. These two people ran away. What should I do? Wait. Let's talk about it later. Ho Jinhan stood up and began to carefully check Gui Jianchao's office. Bao Sonli and Gui Jianchao didn't know what Ho Jinhan was doing, but since Ho Jinhan asked them to talk about it later, they all closed their mouths and looked at Ho Jinhan. In the end, Ho Jinhan finally stopped his gaze and stopped on the chandelier in Gui Jianchao's room. Ho Jinhan stomped his foot slightly and took a black button-like object from the chandelier. Tapping device. Bao Sonli was no stranger to the thing in Ho Jinhan's hand. He saw it at a glance. This was a small tapping device. Gui Jianchao and Little Wang opened their mouths at the same time. They didn't expect that in the general manager's office, there was actually a tapping device installed. For so long, they didn't notice it. Ho Jinhan nodded. Yes, it is a tapping device. Our conversation just now was heard by someone, so Lu Chan and Chu Daming ran away. Bao Sonli slammed his fist on the table. He didn't expect that the parasites of Ming Yang Entertainment were actually the two veterans who fought with him. A citywide search. I don't believe that we can't catch these two people. Bao Sonli took out his mobile phone and wanted to call his men to order a citywide search for Lu Chan and Chu Daming. Speaking of this, Bao Sonli looked at the tapping device in Ho Jinhan's hand again. He quickly stopped dialing and pointed to the untapped device in Ho Jinhan's hand. It meant that the tapping device was still working, right? Chapter 12:20. Ho Jinhan took the eavesdropper in his hand and carefully observed the appearance of the eavesdropper. Then, he shook his head. This kind of eavesdropper works by emitting analog signals. Because it only uses a button battery, the emitting power is very small. It is estimated that it can only be received in this building, and it can only be received in a few rooms near the general manager's office. If it is far away, it will be ineffective. Therefore, at this moment, Lu Chan and Chu Daming have run away, and they won't hear our current conversation. That's good. Bao Sonli breathed a sigh of relief. He was a rough man. Unlike Ho Jinhan, who retired from the special forces, he had certain detection and anti-detection abilities. The Ming Yang Security Company was directly under Bao Sonli and Ho Jinhan. Lu Chan and Chu Daming had not infiltrated yet. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. If something really happened, there would be no one available. When Bao Sonli's arrest warrant was issued, the Ming Yang Security Company's idle personnel immediately acted. The security personnel who were already on duty in some entertainment venues also began to pay attention. However, Lu Chan and Chu Daming seemed to have disappeared from the world. After discovering that the two were missing, Bao Sonli sent people to guard the two's residence, but unfortunately, the two did not return to the residence. There was no one else in the residence. In this way, it further confirmed Little Wang's words. Lu Chan and Chu Daming had an inescapable relationship with the company's deficit. It seemed that Lu Chan and Chu Daming had been prepared for a long time. In other words, It was estimated that the two had plotted to escape a long time ago. Today's inspection by Bao Sonli and Ho Jinhan was just an opportunity for them to escape. The two of them had already prepared an escape route. If something went wrong, they could immediately retreat. It would not be so easy to find the two of them again. What should we do? At this moment, Bao Sonli had no idea. If he was asked to kill, he was better than anyone. But now, when he was asked to analyze the whereabouts of Lu Chan and Chu Daming, Bao Sonli obviously didn't know what to do. First, report to Brother Yang. Then, go to Chu Daming and Lu Chan's offices and search to see if there are any valuable clues. In addition, let the security guards be on high alert. Ho Jinhan said after a moment of hesitation. Yes, I'll inform the security guards and tell them to be more alert. Bao Sonli nodded and said. Brother Yang sighed. When it came to reporting to Yang Ming, Bao Sonli was a little timid. After all, this was caused by his own veteran. It had nothing to do with Yang Ming, so if Yang Ming was angry, he would first vent it on Bao Sonli. Let me do it. Ho Jinhan also knew Bao Sonli's difficulties at the moment. He patted Bao Sonli's shoulder and said with a bitter smile. Bao Sonli looked at Ho Jinhan gratefully, but he didn't say much. He quickly took out the phone and called his men to instruct them. Ho Jinhan dialed the phone to Yang Ming. Yang Ming was on his way to school. He left a little earlier today. Yang Ming couldn't let Chen Mengyan, Lin Jiyun, and Zhou Jiejia see him going to school with Wang Xiaoyan, so he could only drive to school earlier. Before arriving at school, Yang Ming's cell phone rang. Yang Ming glanced at the caller ID. It was Ho Jinhan, so he picked it up. Big Ho, what's the matter? Brother Yang, Baozi and I are checking the accounts of Ming Yang Entertainment. Lu Chan and Chu Daming ran away. Ho Jinhan didn't explain much, but he went straight to the topic and told Yang Ming the original story. In Guo Jinchao's office, we found a small tapping device, ran away. Yang Ming frowned after listening. What did they do? The company's financial power and purchasing power have always been in charge of Lu Chan and Chu Daming. They both obeyed Guo Jianchao in public but opposed him in private. During this time, they have emptied the company. Now, they still owe suppliers and decoration wages of more than 130 million yuan. Ho Jinhan said, when we were about to take coercive measures against them, we found that they had run away. Oh. Yang Ming had long suspected that Lu Chan and Chu Daming had problems. He didn't expect their problems to be so serious. Although 130 million yuan was nothing for the current Yang Ming, the money he got from Singapore's Li Ziqing was more than 100 times, but these were two different things. After all, Songjiang was his foundation. If the foundation was ruined, everything would be over. Brother Yang, Baozi and I have failed in our management. Please punish us. Ho Jinhan also knew the seriousness of this matter. When he heard that Yang Ming didn't speak, Ho Jinhan thought that Yang Ming was angry and blamed him. Lu Chan and Chu Daming, I know these two people. They have nothing to do with you. These two people are veterans who follow Baozi. It is also difficult for Baozi. Yang Ming sighed. Tell him not to be angry. He must be responsible for this matter, but I will not hold him accountable. Let's talk about it after I go there. Yes, Brother Yang. I will tell him in a while. Ho Jinhan listened to Yang Ming's tone and breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that although Yang Ming was a little angry, it had not reached the point of anger. Bao Sonli should not suffer too much. Right, have you sent someone to search for the whereabouts of Lu Chan and Chu Daming? Asked Yang Ming. I have called all the security guards in the company to act, said Ho Jinhan. Just do your best. Yang Ming comforted Ho Jinhan slightly and hung up the phone. Looking at the puzzled Wang Xiaoyan, Yang Ming explained, "There is a problem with my company. I can't go to school. I will send you to the school gate later." Wang Xiaoyan was a person who cared about the big picture. She knew that when Yang Ming said that there was a problem with the company, it must be something very important, so Wang Xiaoyan did not hesitate. When passing by the school gate, Yang Ming stopped the car and let Wang Xiaoyan get off at the school gate. Watching Wang Xiaoyan enter the school gate, Yang Ming was relieved to start the car and leave the school, driving to the headquarters of Ming Yang Entertainment. Wang Xiaoyan did not enter the school for long. A figure ran over to Wang Xiaoyan. "Yen Yen." Wang Xiaoyan's brows suddenly twisted together. She was a little disgusted, but she still tried not to let herself get angry. "Coach Li. Why are you here?" The person was Li Diding, Wang Xiaoyan's former long-distance running coach. "Yen Yen, I was invited to come here to train students. The university games are about to start," Li Diding said with some pride. He enjoyed the feeling of being respected. "Yen Yen, do you want to participate in the games? It's just a matter of a word from me to register you." "Sorry, Coach Li, I haven't practiced long-distance running for a long time. Besides, I don't want to develop in sports." Wang Xiaoyan had goosebumps when Li Diding called her Yen Yen. Although Yang Ming and her father also called her Yen Yen, Wang Xiaoyan only felt disgusted when it came from Li Diding's mouth. "So what if you don't practice? Don't you have me? I will train you alone and guarantee that you will get a place in the national competition. At that time, if you are chosen by the national team, you will have a meteoric rise. This is an opportunity that many people dream of." Li Diding said quickly, "At that time, if you really win the championship of the world competition, you can have whatever you want." Li Diding painted a big picture and wanted Wang Xiaoyan to be fooled. In fact, Li Diding also understood that it was not so simple to get a place. However, in order to get Wang Xiaoyan, Li Diding didn't mind exaggerating the facts. After all, he didn't lie. "Really? I think it's good now. I don't want to be a champion, and I don't want to be famous." Wang Xiaoyan shook her head. "You are a college student. It is always a good thing to participate in more activities, right?" Li Diding still didn't give up. How could Wang Xiaoyan not know Li Diding's thoughts? Seeing that he was still talking, she said, "Coach Li, in fact, my boyfriend doesn't like me to practice long-distance running. Okay, I have to go to class." Wang Xiaoyan told Li Diding that she had a boyfriend, and she also warned him to restrain himself. However, it was fine if Wang Xiaoyan didn't mention it. When she mentioned Yang Ming, Li Diding had an inexplicable anger. Last time, Yang Ming hit him with the excuse of reversing the car, and Li Diding couldn't say anything. At this moment, when he heard Wang Xiaoyan say this, he suddenly remembered that there were photos of Yang Ming and other women in his phone. Therefore, Li Diding was overjoyed and quickly said, "Yen Yen, wait a minute. Speaking of your boyfriend, I have important news to tell you. It is related to your lifetime happiness." Wang Xiaoyan was about to leave. When she heard Li Diding mention Yang Ming, she was slightly stunned. She stopped and asked, "What is it? That boyfriend of yours is not honest." Li Diding whispered mysteriously. He took out his phone from his pocket, then opened the photo album and put the phone in front of Wang Xiaoyan. His head also deliberately leaned toward Wang Xiaoyan. Wang Xiaoyan turned to the side with some disgust and looked at Li Diding's phone screen. On Li Diding's phone screen, there was a group of photos of Yang Ming. The protagonists of the photos were Yang Ming and Zhao Ying. Looking at the two of them talking and laughing, they really looked like a couple in love. However, Wang Xiaoyan had long known about the relationship between Yang Ming and Zhao Ying. Moreover, Xiaoying liked Yang Ming before she liked Wang Xiaoyan. If she really wanted to compare, she'd Wang Xiaoyan, owed Xiaoying. Therefore, after Wang Xiaoyan saw the photos, she understood Li Diying's meaning. He wanted to use this to make her feel that Yang Ming was too timing so that she would give up on Yang Ming. However, Yang Ming was more than too timing. For Yang Ming, Wang Xiaoyan couldn't understand him more. What's wrong with this? Wang Xiaoyan looked at Li Diying's phone and asked faintly. The restaurant in the background of the photo seemed to be a Sichuan restaurant near the Huaxiang district where she lived. She and Yang Ming seemed to have been there a few times. Your boyfriend is eating alone with another woman, and they are talking and laughing. Doesn't that explain anything? Li Diying didn't think that Wang Xiaoyan couldn't see anything. He felt that Wang Xiaoyan said this because she cared about her face. However, Li Diying didn't mind exposing Wang Xiaoyan. Only in this way, the deeper Wang Xiaoyan was hurt, the more opportunity he had to take advantage of it. Oh, but what's wrong with this? Wang Xiaoyan smiled faintly. I know the person in the photo. She is my boyfriend's math teacher in high school. It is normal for my boyfriend to treat her to a meal. It is understandable. What? This person is his high school math teacher? Li Diying was stunned. He didn't expect to get such an answer. Yeah, does Coach Li think that there can be any abnormal relationship between a student and a teacher? Wang Xiaoyan pursed her lips and smiled. Coach Li, your thoughts seem to be a bit wrong. So it's like this. How could Li Diying not understand? Wang Xiaoyan was using this matter to poke at him. She was telling him not to have any improper thoughts about her. It was impossible for a student and a teacher to be together. If there is nothing else, then I will go first, Coach Li. Wang Xiaoyan still maintained politeness, neither humble nor overbearing. She waved her hand to Li Diying and quickly walked in the direction of the teaching building. Fuck. Li Diying cursed and spat a thick phlegm on the ground of the school. Motherfucker, what a waste of effort. I didn't expect her to be this kid's teacher. I was also scolded by Yan Yan. I am really unlucky. No, I must get back at her. Wang Xiaoyan, don't be complacent. Sooner or later, she will be mine. The woman that I, Li Diying, like, has never not been hooked. Spitting everywhere, a fine of 50 yuan. A fat old woman walked up to Li Diying, grabbed Li Diying who wanted to leave, and shouted. Li Diying was unhappy in his heart. He didn't expect that he would be entangled by an old woman when he spat. He was annoyed. Who are you? I am from the school's logistics department. I am responsible for school hygiene. The old woman snorted and tore a fine receipt. She handed it to Li Diying. Pay up. I am also from the school. I am a school teacher. Li Diying saw that the old woman was serious and quickly explained. School teacher. Why haven't I seen you before? The old woman looked at Li Diying up and down, and then said, besides, school teachers should lead by example. Don't say that. Hurry up and pay the money. Pay what money? Don't you know who I am? I am an expert invited by the school. Coach. Li Diying glared at the old woman. Hurry up and get out of the way. If you want money, ask the school leader for it. What's wrong? You want to escape after spitting. The old woman grabbed Li Diying's sleeve and didn't let him leave. Let go. When Li Diying saw that the old woman dared to make a move, he immediately became angry. I will count to 3. I am telling you, I am practicing sports. If you don't let go, you have to bear the consequences. 1, 2, 3. Paw. There was a crisp sound. A loud slap hit Li Diding's face. Suddenly, 5 red marks appeared on his right face. What's wrong? Are you threatening me? The old woman glared and said, What's wrong with you practicing sports? I practiced judo in the past. Hitting you is just for fun. Let me tell you. Li Diding was hit by the old woman until he saw stars. Now, he knew how powerful the old woman was. Most people didn't have this strength. Looking at the old woman's body shape, Li Diding also believed the old woman's words. This old woman wasn't simple. If he really fought with her, then the unlucky one would definitely be him. Li Diding had no choice. Since he couldn't beat her, then he had to pay. In desperation, he had to take out 100 yuan from his pocket and give it to the old woman. He said with a sad face, Give me 50 yuan. The old woman grabbed the money in Li Diding's hand, then tore a fine receipt and handed it to Li Diding with the previous one. She said, I can't give you the change. I will give you another receipt. You can spit again in a while. Ah. Li Diding was stunned. He didn't expect this old woman to be so overbearing. He saw the change in the old woman's bag, but it was obviously because Li Diding's attitude was too bad. The old woman deliberately messed with him. He still wanted to say something, but the old woman had already gone away. Li Diding was very helpless, but he could only swallow the insult. Looking at the fine receipt in his hand, Li Diding snorted, tore it up, and threw it into the trash can on the roadside. He didn't want to keep this kind of shameful thing. Li Diding walked in the direction of the gymnasium. The more he thought about it, the more he felt suffocated. I am a sports coach, but I was actually messed with by an old woman. I am really a coward. Thinking of this, Li Diding spat on the ground again. It would be a waste not to spit. Anyway, I have already paid the fine. However, when Li Diding just finished spitting, an old man rushed in front of Li Diding. Even Li Diding, the former long-distance running champion, was inferior to that speed. Spitting everywhere, a fine of 50 yuan. Shouted the old man. Li Diding's eyeballs almost popped out. I have just been fined 100 yuan. The person didn't have change, so I can spit again. Oh. The old man obviously knew the old woman's style. When he heard Li Diding say this, his attitude was better. Then, can you show me the receipt? Ah. Receipt. Li Diding's face suddenly turned green. I thought it was useless, so I just threw it away. Threw it away. The old man's face also changed. He snorted and said, Are you lying to a ghost? Hurry up and give me the money. Li Diding didn't expect this. He hesitated and ran away. He didn't want to explain. He saw that the other party was an old man. He definitely couldn't catch him, unlike the old woman who was burly. Li Diding thought, as long as I run away, the old man can't do anything. If he meets me again, there will be no evidence. That spit had already evaporated. However, Li Diding didn't wait to run far before he was caught by the old man. Chapter 12:21. Just as Li Diding was very proud, he thought, I am a long-distance running coach. How can I not outrun you, this old man? However, in the next moment, Li Diding did not run far, and his clothes were pulled by the old man from behind. Why? Do you still want to run? The old man stared at Li Diding. Little guy, I was a sprinter in the past. How can I not outrun you? When Li Diding heard it, he felt bitter in his heart. What kind of people are they? Is this school a sports family? The old woman before was a judo player, and this time there is a sprinter. Although I am good at long-distance running, people who have been involved in sports know that long-distance runners mainly rely on endurance, while short-distance runners rely on explosive power. In the short-distance range, long-distance runners are naturally not the opponent of short-distance runners. I won't run anymore. Li Diding was really at his wit's end this time. Seeing that there were already many people watching, Li Diding had no choice but to take out 100 yuan from his pocket and hand it to the old man. Okay, I will pay the fine. I can't give you change. I will give you 2 receipts. The old man tore 2 receipts and handed them to Li Diding. You can spit it out in a while, but remember to keep the receipts. Li Diding was furious, but he was too lazy to argue with the old man. He put the 2 receipts in his pocket and walked to the gymnasium. Wang Xiaoyan did not take Li Diding seriously. She did not believe that Li Diding dared to do anything to her. If he really dared, then she would just kill him. However, the content of Li Diding's mobile phone made Wang Xiaoyan's heart fall into contemplation. Xiao Ying. This was my former roommate, my only good sister in Songjiang. After careful calculation, she had not contacted me for a long time. This had never happened before. Although the 2 people did not live together, they often got together to go shopping or eat. During this time, I was busy with the assassin group. After that, I went abroad with Yang Ming, so I never looked for Zhao Ying. As for Zhao Ying, why hadn't she contacted him during this period of time? Wang Xiaoyan felt a little strange. Could it be that Zhao Ying couldn't contact her because she was abroad? It was possible, but Wang Xiaoyan checked the phone recording in her villa, and there was no record of Zhao Ying calling. Zhao Ying, this girl, did something happen to her? Thinking of this, Wang Xiaoyan's heart tightened. She quickly took out her phone and dialed Zhao Ying's cell phone. During this period of time, Zhao Ying's mood had also calmed down a lot. She was not as excited as she was at the beginning. Instead, she missed Yang Ming more and more. A while ago, with Xiao Qing and Sun Jia accompanying her, Xiao Ying didn't seem to be lonely. However, in these few days, Xiao Qing was busy researching an important topic. She lived in school day and night, so she had little time to be with them. As for Sun Jia, she didn't know why. After she said that she wanted to go back to Donghai, she lost contact with her, and her phone was turned off. Zhao Ying didn't realize what would happen to Sun Jia. After all, this kind of family division to compete for property, Zhao Ying had only seen it on TV. In reality, this was something far away from her. Therefore, Zhao Ying just thought that Sun Jia might be delayed by something. Sitting in the school cafeteria and drinking mung bean porridge in boredom, Zhao Ying suddenly had an unprecedented sense of loneliness. Although she met 2 new friends, Xiao Qing and Sun Jia, what about her old friends? She suddenly remembered that she and Wang Xiaoyan had not been in contact for a while. Thinking back, the 2 of them lived under the same roof like sisters, and they talked about everything. Those days were really happy. A year later, the relationship between the 2 was getting more and more distant. Zhao Ying sighed slightly. Although she was somewhat annoyed that Wang Xiaoyan went behind her back and got together with Yang Ming, Zhao Ying wasn't a jealous person. She couldn't accept the deception of her friend. Now that she thought about it, Wang Xiaoyan actually didn't do anything wrong. The ringing of the phone pulled Zhao Ying back from her thoughts. Looking at the 3 familiar words on the phone's caller ID, Zhao Ying's heart flashed a strange feeling. Yan Yan. She was full of resentment, but it turned into this affectionate name. It was from the heart, and she couldn't help it. Yes, I have no contradiction with Wang Xiaoyan. Sister Ying, where are you? Wang Xiaoyan heard the familiar and affectionate voice, and she suddenly felt sweet in her heart. I'm eating porridge in the school cafeteria. What's wrong, Yan Yan? Why did you call me so early in the morning? Zhao Ying found that when she really faced Wang Xiaoyan, it wasn't as awkward as she imagined. Instead, It was so natural. There was no pretense, and there was no resentment. I missed you, so I called you. When she heard that Zhao Ying's voice was normal, Wang Xiaoyan was relieved. She thought that something had happened to Zhao Ying. Now it seemed that she was too worried. You haven't contacted me for so long. What are you busy with? Oh. Zhao Ying listened to Wang Xiaoyan's words and blushed. She thought, you are with Yang Ming all day long. How can I contact you? However, this couldn't be said. Zhao Ying had to say, during this time, the graduate course is quite busy. Maybe you forgot. It turned out to be like this. Wang Xiaoyan breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. Sister Ying, I'm going to the cafeteria to find you now. I haven't eaten yet. Okay. Zhao Ying subconsciously wanted to refuse. She was afraid that they would be awkward after seeing Wang Xiaoyan, but when the words came to her mouth, it became okay. Wang Xiaoyan was somewhat inexplicable. Hee, Sister Ying, are you memorizing the pinyin? Wait for me. I'll be right there. Songjiang Industry University had 3 cafeterias, but only one main cafeteria opened in the morning to provide breakfast. After all, many students bought soy milk and bread to go to the classroom for morning self-study. They wouldn't eat in the cafeteria, so one cafeteria was enough. If all 3 cafeterias were open, it would be a waste. Wang Xiaoyan quickly ran to the cafeteria. With her keen eyesight, she saw Zhao Ying sitting in the corner of the cafeteria. In fact, after Wang Xiaoyan hung up the phone, Zhao Ying's mood had been very unsettled. Her eyes had been looking at the entrance of the cafeteria. After Wang Xiaoyan came in, Zhao Ying subconsciously waved to her. Yan, here. Wang Xiaoyan smiled and walked quickly to Zhao Ying's table. In the early morning in the university cafeteria, there weren't many students eating in the cafeteria. Most of them bought things at the window and took them away directly, so there were no other students around Zhao Ying and Wang Xiaoyan. Sister Ying. Wang Xiaoyan sat down and looked at the small bowl of mung bean porridge in front of Zhao Ying. She was a little surprised. Sister Ying, why do you eat so little? Look at you. You have lost a lot of weight. Indeed, Zhao Ying's face had become thinner. Wang Xiaoyan saw the change at a glance. Compared to a month ago, Zhao Ying must have lost more than 5 kilograms. Probably because I am tired from studying. Zhao Ying smiled bitterly. Everyone said that lovesickness was bitter. It seemed that only people who had experienced it personally knew the taste. When Zhao Ying thought of Yang Ming and her future, she had no appetite. She couldn't eat anything. It was good enough that she could eat a bowl of mung bean porridge in the morning. How can this be? Wait for me. I will buy something to eat. Wang Xiaoyan said. She stood up and ran to the breakfast window. Zhao Ying wanted to stop Wang Xiaoyan and tell her not to buy anything for her. She couldn't eat it even if she bought something for her. However, when she saw Wang Xiaoyan's excited look, Zhao Ying swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. They were good sisters who talked about everything. When did they start to be estranged? Zhao Ying didn't know. But looking at Wang Xiaoyan's friendly figure, the estrangement was melting little by little. No matter what, Wang Xiaoyan was genuinely concerned about him. Zhao Ying could see this from Wang Xiaoyan's speech and behavior. Although Zhao Ying was a little annoyed that Wang Xiaoyan and Yang Ming got together without telling her, Zhao Ying wasn't angry at all when she really faced Wang Xiaoyan. Wang Xiaoyan ran to the breakfast window in the cafeteria and ordered 2 fried eggs and 2 soft cakes. After swiping her meal card, she took them back to Zhao Ying's seat. She pushed one of them in front of Zhao Ying. Sister Ying, eat more. don't think about losing weight. Look at how thin you are now. How am I losing weight? Zhao Ying smiled bitterly, but she didn't want to refuse Wang Xiaoyan's kindness. She had to put the fried eggs and soft cakes in front of her and pick up the chopsticks. You didn't lose weight. Why don't you eat more? Wang Xiaoyan smiled. She didn't know why, but Wang Xiaoyan always felt that Zhao Ying's heart seemed to have something. The two had lived together for so long. Wang Xiaoyan was still very sensitive to Zhao Ying's emotional changes. Then I will eat more. Zhao Ying said so, but she still ate very little. The two fell into silence. Zhao Ying was a little embarrassed in her heart. She didn't know what to say to Wang Xiaoyan. Wang Xiaoyan felt that Zhao Ying must have something in her heart, but Wang Xiaoyan didn't know how to ask. Sister Ying. What's wrong with you? I think you seem to be a little absent-minded. Is there something in your mind? Wang Xiaoyan finished eating the fried eggs and soft cakes. She looked at Zhao Ying, who didn't even finish half of the soft cakes, and finally couldn't help but ask. I'm fine. Zhao Ying looked at Wang Xiaoyan, who was more charming and beautiful. There was an indescribable feeling in her heart. It seemed that Wang Xiaoyan was nourished by love, and her whole person was in high spirits. The more Zhao Ying said that she was fine, the more Wang Xiaoyan felt suspicious. After all, she and Zhao Ying lived together for so long. Who didn't know each other? Is it because of emotional problems? Indeed, after thinking of this, Wang Xiaoyan felt that it was very possible. Before, when I lived with Zhao Ying, I often shared my joys and sorrows with her. However, the most common topic was Yang Ming. Thinking of this, Wang Xiaoyan faintly felt that Zhao Ying's troubles might be related to Yang Ming. Thinking of her current relationship with Yang Ming, Wang Xiaoyan's heart suddenly tightened. Could it be that Zhao Ying knew about my relationship with Yang Ming? Wang Xiaoyan never thought of hiding anything from Zhao Ying. Her relationship with Yang Ming was only recently confirmed. From the initial cooperative relationship to the current relationship of lovers. Wang Xiaoyan planned to find a suitable opportunity to confess this matter to Zhao Ying. However, during this time, she was really too busy. There was no free time to talk to Zhao Ying. Today was only the first day after returning to China. Thinking of Zhao Ying's bitter smile and unnatural awkwardness when facing her, Wang Xiaoyan seemed to have understood something. Sister Ying, between you and Yang Ming, did something happen? Wang Xiaoyan asked tentatively. Ah. Zhao Ying panicked and the chopsticks in her hand fell on the table. However, she forced herself to pretend to be calm and picked up the chopsticks again. However, in front of Zhao Ying, she was an obedient sister. She really didn't want to ruin her relationship with Zhao Ying. Why would I be angry? Zhao Ying shook her head. My relationship with Yang Ming hasn't been settled yet. If you want to be angry, it's not my turn to be angry. Besides, Yang Ming, this fellow, is very fickle. Compared to hooking up with other women, I'd rather be with you. I'm also relieved. Wang Xiaoyan's face instantly turned red as she stuttered. Sister Ying, you're making fun of me, how am I? Alright, Yan, don't think too much. My relationship with Yang Ming, sigh, there's no use for you to worry. I know my own situation very well. Zhao Ying smiled bitterly. It's not that I'm not willing to take this step. It's just that between the two of us, it's not something that can be solved just by one of us taking this step. Sister Ying, actually I know that Yang Ming still likes you very much. Why don't I tell him? Wang Xiaoyan saw that Zhao Ying wasn't angry at her and returned to her previous mischievous expression. She blinked her eyes and said to Zhao Ying. Don't, please don't. Zhao Ying was shocked and quickly stopped her. It's better for me to say it myself. Haha, then I won't worry. Wang Xiaoyan laughed, very relaxed. Today, she finally said the things that she had kept in her heart for a long time. Hee hee. Not knowing why, Xiao Ying's mood also became better. Looking at the friendly and cute Wang Xiaoyan opposite her, Xiao Ying really couldn't find a reason to blame her. If the two of them could really be sisters in the future, wouldn't it be a good thing? However, the matter between myself and Yang Ming is really difficult to handle. Sometimes, taking this step is much more difficult than ascending to the sky. Looking at the fragrant fried eggs and soft cakes on the table, Xiao Ying suddenly had a big appetite. In a few bites, she finished all the food on the table. After eating, she found that Wang Xiaoyan was looking at her opposite. Suddenly, she was a little embarrassed. I'm suddenly a little hungry. At this moment, Wang Xiaoyan could finally be sure that Zhao Ying's troubles really came from her. Zhao Ying must have noticed the matter between me and Yang Ming, so she was unhappy. Perhaps, Zhao Ying was angry that I was with Yang Ming and didn't tell her. Thinking of this, Wang Xiaoyan also understood why Zhao Ying didn't contact her for so long. It seemed that Zhao Ying was waiting for her to tell her. Chapter 12:22. Looking at Zhao Ying wolfing down the food, Wang Xiaoyan felt a little ashamed. It seemed that Zhao Ying hadn't eaten properly for a while. Until today, she finally put aside the knot in her heart. Sister Ying, where do you live now? Wang Xiaoyan watched Zhao Ying finish eating and handed a napkin to Zhao Ying, then asked. Thinking of her residence, Zhao Ying suddenly felt a little embarrassed, but she didn't interrupt Wang Xiaoyan. I live very close to you, in the Huashang district. Ha! Wang Xiaoyan was stunned. She didn't expect Zhao Ying to live so close to her. Then, she and Yang Ming always appeared together in the community. Zhao Ying must have seen them several times, right? Sister Ying. You also live in the community. When did you buy the house? Or did you rent it? Wang Xiaoyan asked quickly. It's. Yang Ming bought it for me. Zhao Ying's face was red as she whispered. Yang Ming. Wang Xiaoyan was slightly stunned, but she covered her mouth and laughed. Sister Ying, it turns out that Yang Ming is planning to hide a mistress in a golden house. Ha! What do you mean by hiding a mistress in a golden house? Don't talk nonsense. Zhao Ying's face was even redder. In the beginning, I asked Yang Ming to pretend to be my boyfriend to see my mother. In the end, my mother wanted the house. Don't explain. Explaining is covering up. Wang Xiaoyan smiled even more happily. Sister Ying, Yang Ming bought a house for you, and you also want it. What's the gap between you two? AI. Zhao Ying sighed slightly. Yen, you don't know. In the beginning, Yang Ming and I were teacher and student. At that time, I rejected him, so now. In short, Zhao Ying couldn't tell what the gap between her and Yang Ming was. Was it her own cowardice, or was it the fear of Qin Mengyan calling her a vixen on the street, or was it the fear that Yang Ming would reject her? Or was it something else? Wang Xiaoyan saw Zhao Ying's appearance. Although she sympathized with her, she also knew that other people couldn't help in matters of the heart. The more you help, the more trouble you will get. If Zhao Ying wanted to get her own happiness, she could only rely on herself to fight for it. No one could help her. Alright, Sister Ying, I got it. Since you don't want to talk about it, I won't ask. Wang Xiaoyan said, in the future, let's make an appointment to go to school together every morning. Or you can stay at my house at night. Zhao Ying was stunned. She looked at Wang Xiaoyan and said strangely, Yen, don't you live with Yang Ming every day and go to school together? I don't. Wang Xiaoyan smiled bitterly and shook her head. Yang Ming is so busy. How can he accompany me every day? Having said that, Yang Ming and I built our relationship completely through work. I can't ask for anything from Yang Ming. Now, I think it's quite good. Listening to Wang Xiaoyan, Xiao Ying was suddenly happy. Brother Yang, should I call the police, or should you? Ho Jinhan glanced at Yang Ming and asked. You should do it. Yang Ming said to Ho Jinhan, after all, the legal person of the company is you now, and you also have your own social status in Songjiang. Ho Jinhan nodded quickly and said, I will make the call. Ho Jinhan did not call the police, but directly called Qin Fei, who was the acting chief of the police station and the captain of the criminal police. Hello, Chief Qin. I am Ho Jinhan. Ho Jinhan smiled and dialed the phone. President Ho, hello. When Qin Fei heard that it was Ho Jinhan, he did not dare to neglect. Ho Jinhan had now become a big taxpayer in Songjiang. Many companies were Ho Jinhan's, especially the Mingyang Security Company, which was still under the supervision and guidance of the City Bureau. Therefore, the personal relationship between Qin Fei and Ho Jinhan was also good. Chief Qin, I want to call the police. The two vice presidents of our Mingyang Entertainment Company took the money from the company's account and fled. As Ho Jinhan spoke, he told Qin Fei what happened before. When Qin Fei listened to Ho Jinhan's narrative, he knew the seriousness of the matter. This was a very vicious economic crime. Qin Fei quickly said, I will immediately take the police officer in charge of economic investigation to investigate. President Ho, you can wait in the company. After Ho Jinhan quickly thanked him, he hung up the phone. Brother Yang, I have already called the police. Chief Qin Fei of the City Bureau said that he will bring people over immediately. Ho Jinhan reported to Yang Ming. Uncle Chen is coming. Yang Ming was a bit embarrassed. Qin Fei didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't know his relationship with Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli. Yang Ming didn't know what expression Qin Fei would have when he saw him. However, such a big thing happened in the company. Yang Ming really couldn't not follow here. Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan naturally knew Qin Mengyan. 2 days ago, they helped Qin Mengyan book a car. They also knew that Qin Fei was Qin Mengyan's father, so they could understand Yang Ming's expression at the moment. Brother Yang, why don't you go back first? Baozi and I will follow here. Asked Ho Jinhan. Forget it. I will stay here. Yang Ming said, these things have to be made public sooner or later. Now is the time. Recently, Yang Ming had also thought it through because of the continuous assassination. His identity hadn't been made public yet, but it had already attracted so much trouble, so Yang Ming wasn't afraid to disclose his identity. Maybe, after his identity was made public, there would be less trouble. Thinking of this, Yang Ming also made a decision to wait for Qin Fei here. Qin Fei's efficiency was still very fast. About 10 minutes later, Qin Fei rushed to the headquarters of Mingyang Entertainment Company with a few police officers. Under the leadership of Guo Jianchao, they came to the general manager's office. Bureau Chief Qin. Ho Jinhan quickly stepped forward and shook hands with Qin Fei. After that, it was Bao Sanli's turn. Qin Fei was very clear about Bao Sanli's past. He knew that this kid was a gangster. However, Qin Fei was still a bit puzzled when Bao Sanli suddenly set up a security company and went on the right path. However, Qin Fei was also very pleased that Bao Sanli could turn over a new leaf. After that, Qin Fei didn't discriminate against Bao Sanli. He just regarded him as a successful businessman. After shaking hands with these two, Qin Fei suddenly found Yang Ming standing in the office. He was suddenly stunned. Yang Ming. Why are you here? Uncle Chen. Yang Ming smiled and came forward. Uncle Chen, in fact, I also have shares in this company. I started it with Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli. Because I was still a student, I didn't have time to manage it, so I didn't participate in the specific operations. Now, such a big thing happened in the company. Naturally, I have to be there. Oh. Chen Fei looked at Yang Ming suspiciously. How do you have so much money? My godfather gave it to me. Yang Ming pushed the matter of the funds to Lu Weishan. Anyway, the matter of participating in the Hong Kong auction was also well documented. Yang Ming was not afraid of Chen Fei investigating further. So that's the case. Chen Fei nodded. However, do your parents know that you are doing this? This matter, let me tell you slowly later, Uncle Chen. Yang Ming waved his hand. Now, the top priority is to catch the two vice presidents. Right, I almost forgot about the business. Chen Fei quickly said, take us to the office of the two vice presidents. Ho Jinhan nodded and took Chen Fei and the police to Lu Chan and Chu Daming's office. Chen Fei was better at criminal investigation work. He listened carefully to Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli's introduction of the situation at the time. After hearing that the two had absconded for a long time, Chen Fei asked, what are the license plates and models of the cars they drove? Lu Chan drove an Audi A6L. The license plate number is Song AEG 777. Chu Daming drove a Mercedes-Benz SL 600. The license plate number is Song GGG 888. Bao Sanli introduced. When did they drive out of the company parking lot? Asked Chen Fei. According to the video of the parking lot, the time they left was 9:48. Ho Jinhan had checked the surveillance video before, so he knew the data. Chen Fei nodded, took out the phone, dialed a number, and said, is this the Traffic Police Command Center? I am Chen Fei. Hello, Director's son, help me check the surveillance video near the Mingyang Entertainment Company on Simon Road at 9:48. Yes, after confirmation, the two of them have fled to Donghai. Ho Jinhan reported to Yang Ming. Chen Fei and his police officers had finished the investigation and returned. Apparently, they were preparing to transfer manpower to Donghai. As for Yang Ming's matter, he could only talk to Chen Fei in detail after the case was over. Chen Fei didn't have time to entangle with this now. Although Chen Fei had some complaints about Yang Ming and Bao Sanli mixing together, Bao Sanli was doing a legitimate business, so Chen Fei was relieved. What are they doing in Donghai? Yang Ming frowned. Intuitively, this matter didn't seem to be simple. Logically, if these two people wanted to escape, they shouldn't run to Donghai. Generally, people would run to a small place. The more remote it was, the harder it was to be found. Why would they run to the provincial capital? It was a bit unreasonable. Who knows? Bao Sanli didn't know what Lu Chan and Chu Daming were thinking, so he shook his head. Let's wait for the results. I still believe in Uncle Chen's ability. Yang Ming didn't care about the 130 million yuan, but he must take this as a warning to alert Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan. He would never allow similar things to happen in the company again. Brother Yang. I'm sorry. Bao Sanli said carefully, but he was interrupted by Yang Ming halfway. I understand your difficulties at the time. This time, I will let it go. Yang Ming waved his hand. But, don't let it happen again. I understand. Bao Sanli nodded quickly and breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that Yang Ming didn't intend to pursue his responsibility. This time, I am also responsible. I haven't been ruthless enough to ask you to clean up the company's parasites. As a result, it led to the current situation. Yang Ming sighed and said, I informed you last night. I didn't expect something to happen this morning. It seems that they have been planning for a long time. Bao Sanli lowered his head with some shame, but Yang Ming didn't pursue it. Bao Sanli still blamed himself in his heart. It was his duty to check the company's accounts. He didn't need Yang Ming to remind him. Therefore, Bao Sanli knew that this was all caused by himself. He made up his mind that he would never let this kind of thing happen again. Thinking of Sun Jie, Yang Ming suddenly remembered that he called Sun Jie last night, but her phone was turned off. So, he picked up the phone again and dialed Sun Jie's number. However, after the phone was dialed, it was still turned off. Yang Ming frowned. Sun Jie shouldn't have turned on her phone during the day, right? Even if the phone was turned off at night because of charging or other reasons, why didn't she turn it on at noon? Chapter 12:23. Could it be that something happened to Sun Jie? Thinking of this possibility, Yang Ming couldn't sit still. Previously, when the company's money was taken away, Yang Ming was just angry, but he wasn't worried. But now that it was related to Sun Jie, Yang Ming couldn't calm down. When he called again, it was still the cold female voice that indicated that the phone was turned off. Yang Ming called the landline of Sun Jie's home again, but the phone rang many times until it was automatically hung up. There was no answer, and no one answered. Although Yang Ming was very confident in Sun Jie's ability to deal with things, it was precisely because of this that Sun Jie had never rashly turned on her mobile phone. Even if she didn't turn on her mobile phone at night, there was no reason to turn it off during the day. This was the reason why Yang Ming was really worried. However, there was no way to worry now. Yang Ming couldn't go to Donghai personally to see what happened. He could only put this matter aside first. He would contact Sun Jie again in the evening, or ask Xiao Qing when he saw her. Big Ho, Baozi, you two are responsible for following up on the company's matters. Don't blame yourself too much. Yang Ming said, in addition, during the time when the police are in charge of the investigation, you should also investigate the people around Lu Chan and Chu Daming in the company. See if they have frequent contacts or phone calls during this time. Try to find some clues as much as possible. I understand. Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan nodded solemnly. Don't worry. I will do this well. Yang Ming finished explaining the matter, so there was no need to continue to stay in the company. However, at this moment, Yang Ming was thinking about something in his heart. The company's vice presidents, Lu Chan and Chu Daming, emptied the company, but someone paid to assassinate Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli. Is there any necessary connection between these two things? Is it a coincidence, or is there any unspeakable connection? If Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan are dead, who is the biggest beneficiary? According to common sense, the beneficiary should be the immediate family of Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli because according to the inheritance law, their immediate family members enjoyed the company's inheritance rights. However, it didn't rule out that Lu Chan and Chu Daming used extraordinary means to take the company away. When Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan died, the company's accounts were unclear. The deficit of 130 million yuan couldn't be attributed to Lu Chan and Chu Daming. They could also completely shift the blame to Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli. In any case, since there was no evidence, they would definitely be able to escape this calamity. So in this way, Lu Chan and Chu Daming could use some extraordinary means to let the family of Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan give up on inheriting the company and really control the company's management rights in their hands. Of course, Lu Chan and Chu Daming didn't know the fact that the behind-the-scenes owner of the company was Yang Ming. Although they knew Yang Ming, they only knew that Yang Ming had a good relationship with Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan. It was impossible to think that Ming Yang Entertainment was actually Yang Ming's company. To sum up, the biggest beneficiary of this matter was Chu Daming and Lu Chan. Perhaps the two found an assassin to assassinate Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli, but because Wang Kejin had wasted a lot of time on the mission of assassinating Yang Ming, he didn't make a move on Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan. This made Lu Chan and Chu Daming anxious, so they planned a second plan, which was an escape plan. Or perhaps, the escape plan had already been formulated, and the two of them had made preparations for both sides. This was unknown. But in any case, perhaps the two didn't wait for the news of Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan being assassinated. In addition, Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan came to the company this morning to check the accounts, so Lu Chan and Chu Daming had to escape in advance. Because of what Bao Sanli used to do, Lu Chan and Chu Daming were very clear. It was difficult to guarantee what Bao Sanli would do when he was angry, so the two chose to escape. As for why the two fled to Donghai instead of other remote cities, this explained the problem. But Yang Ming couldn't figure out the reason why the two people did this. He could only wait until the two were caught, then he would reveal the mystery. After receiving the call from Lu Chan and Chu Daming, Tianlong's face was pale. He didn't expect the matter in Songjiang to be exposed so quickly. You said that Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan went to the company to check the accounts this morning. Tianlong knew that Chu Daming and Lu Chan couldn't be blamed for this kind of emergency, but the taste of failure when you were about to succeed was still very uncomfortable. Yes, Brother Long, Lu Chan said carefully, we didn't expect that Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan would go to the company to check the accounts at this time. The company has been established for so long, and he has always trusted us. But at this time, didn't Boss Sui say that he had found the assassin? Why is there no movement for so long? Tianlong suddenly thought that Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan were supposed to die in the plan. We don't know. During this time, Hou Junhan and Bao Sanli are fine. It doesn't look like they have been assassinated. Lu Chan shook his head. Did Boss Sui lie to me? It can't be. What good is it for him to lie to me? Tianlong frowned. Brother Long, we have no other place to go now. We can only rely on you. You can't abandon us. Lu Chan said quickly. Don't worry. You can just come. I will find a place for the two of you to hide. Tianlong said faintly. Fortunately, Tianlong's ambition was in Donghai. He had never been interested in Songjiang. If the mysterious boss didn't ask him to completely destroy the power of Songjiang, Hou Junhan and Bao Sanli, Tianlong wouldn't bother to touch them. It was just that since the boss behind the scenes ordered, he had to do it. Now, the plan had failed halfway, and the boss behind the scenes couldn't blame him. It could only be said that man proposes but God disposes. After hanging up Lu Chan's phone call, Tianlong called Sui Yuejin. Boss Sui, what happened to the assassin you hired? Why is there no movement for so long? Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan are still alive. When Tianlong said this, he couldn't help but be annoyed. He couldn't even do such a small thing. It seems that Sui Yuejin's ability is just average. And is there still no movement? I have already made the order. It stands to reason that they should have acted in these 2 days, right? Sui Yuejin listened to Tianlong's question and was stunned. Action. Humph. Tianlong said coldly, Boss Sui, are you not working hard? Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan came to the company today for a surprise audit. Lu Chan and Chu Daming have been scared away. Now, they are running to my Donghai. Brother Long, you can't say that. I am looking for the world's top assassin organization. As for why Bao Sanli and Hou Junhan are still fine, I don't know. But if you say that you are not working hard, that is impossible. Sui Yuejin listened to Tianlong's words and was shocked. Although he felt that he was in the wrong, he couldn't help but argue. After all, he did contact the assassin organization. The current situation was not what he wanted to see. Humph, you should hurry up as soon as possible. If these two people don't die, your plan to get Jiduan City will be ruined. You can do as you see fit. Tianlong said with a sneer. I understand. Although Sui Yuejin was very upset by Tianlong's tone, there was no way. Indeed, Tianlong's goal was only Donghai. Sui Yuejin wanted Songjiang and Jiduan City. I made a mistake here, but Tianlong is still worried about me. It's not bad. If it were someone else, they might not care about it. Hanging up the phone, Tianlong sighed slightly. Things are a bit difficult to handle. If the forces of Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan are not destroyed, how can I explain to the mysterious boss? If I can catch Yang Ming, I can still explain to the mysterious boss. If I don't catch Yang Ming, it means that I owe the mysterious boss too much. How can I repay it in the future? Thinking of this, Tianlong had to reconsider Yang Ming's matter. It was obviously not a good idea to let Sun Jia call Yang Ming. Sun Jia obviously wouldn't do it to deceive Yang Ming. Tianlong was very familiar with Sun Jia's character. If Sun Jia were to call Yang Ming, Sun Jia would never lie to deceive Yang Ming. What she said to Yang Ming was probably to let Yang Ming be careful and not be fooled by Tianlong. In that case, Yang Ming would be on guard. If they wanted to catch Yang Ming by surprise, it would be extremely difficult. Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan's forces belonged to Yang Ming. Tianlong was very clear about this. He was a close person to Sun Hongjun, and he was very familiar with the underworld. Once Yang Ming was prepared, it would bring about a one-of-a-kind revenge and a fight. That was not the result that Tianlong wanted. What Tianlong wanted was to catch Yang Ming without harming his own interests. If it was too laborious, it was not necessary. In the end, if both sides suffered losses, then what was the use of controlling the Sun family's forces in Donghai? So, how can I lure Yang Ming into the trap without alerting him? It was obviously unrealistic to make a move on Yang Ming in Songjiang. Tianlong didn't know if Yang Ming had bodyguards protecting him. The best way was to let Yang Ming come to Songjiang. Thinking about it, the only person who could be connected to Yang Ming was Tian Donghua, but Tian Donghua didn't want to help him to lure Yang Ming. It seemed that he could only do it himself. Thinking of his son, Tian Donghua, Tianlong suddenly came up with a more brilliant idea. Of course, he thought it was more brilliant. Shortly after Yang Ming left the headquarters of Ming Yang Entertainment Company, his mobile phone rang. Yang Ming picked it up and saw that it was actually Tianlong's number. Previously, Yang Ming only met Tianlong once at the Immortal Resort. At that time, they exchanged phone numbers. After that, there was no contact. Now, at this time, Tianlong called him. What could be the matter? Hello, Uncle Tian. Yang Ming asked in a hesitant tone. Yang Ming, it's me. Tianlong's hearty laughter came from the other side of the phone. Uncle Tian, it's really you. When I saw the caller ID, I was still a little hesitant. Yang Ming also smiled. Uncle Tian, are you looking for me? Matter, there is a little matter, but I don't know if you have time, Yang Ming. Tianlong had already thought about how to say it, so at this moment, his tone was very natural. Time. Yes, Uncle Tian. If you have something to say, just say it. Yang Ming's first impression of Tianlong was good. Because of Tian Donghua, Yang Ming was very polite to Tianlong. The more important reason was that Tianlong was the arm of the Sun family. Since Yang Ming was the son-in-law of the Sun family, naturally, he would have to deal with Tianlong in the future. However, Yang Ming's ambition was in Country X in Africa. He had no interest in the gang business here. Yang Ming, if you have something to do, then forget it. Let's talk about it another day. Tian Long's voice sounded a little regretful. If I go, there is no problem. After all, Tian Long had a request for him for the first time. As a junior, Yang Ming really couldn't refuse. In fact, what made Yang Ming most tempted was going to Dong Hai. Before, Yang Ming had not been able to contact Sun Jie. Yang Ming also wanted to see Sun Jie and see how she was doing. Therefore, Yang Ming simply agreed. Uncle Tian, then I will drive there myself. You can tell me the place. Let's go to the Spring Garden Hotel in Dong Hai. After you go there, just tell the lobby manager that you are looking for me. Tian Long saw that Yang Ming agreed with him, and his heart was suddenly happy. Okay, Uncle Tian, then I will see you later. Yang Ming responded and hung up the phone. However, Yang Ming's heart was full of doubts. Tian Long suddenly looked for him just to understand Tian Donghua's matter. Tian Long wanted him to go all the way to Dong Hai. No matter how he thought about it, it was a bit unreasonable. However, Yang Ming couldn't think of other reasons. Although he was puzzled, he could only suppress his doubts in his heart. Before leaving for Dong Hai, Yang Ming decided to call Tian Donghua first. It had been so long since school started, but he had not been to school. He had been busy with things outside. He didn't know if there was anything going on at school. Zhang Bin was busy with the jewelry company during this time. It was estimated that he had no time to go to school. Yang Ming wanted to ask about the situation at school. The only person he could find was Tian Donghua. This kid was with Wang Shui all day long. He had become a member of Yang Ming's class, so he just had to ask Tian Donghua about the things in the class. On the one hand, he wanted to ask about the school. On the other hand, he wanted to ask Tian Donghua if this kid had gotten into trouble recently. Before Yang Ming met Tian Long, he wanted to unify with him. Old Tian, it's me. Yang Ming dialed Tian Donghua's phone. Yang Ming. Wait for me. I am in the classroom. I will go out to the corridor. Tian Donghua and the voice of the teacher in the classroom came from the phone. The management of the university's classroom was lax. For a young master like Tian Donghua, it was obvious that he came to school to waste time. The teacher also turned a blind eye to his usual behavior. Seeing Tian Donghua's anxious look, she nodded. Then, will you come back for lunch? I don't know yet. Maybe I won't eat. You eat by yourself. I will contact you by phone. Tian Donghua said. Okay, then contact me by phone. You be careful. Wang Shui saw that Tian Donghua should have something, but Tian Donghua didn't say in detail, so she didn't ask much. There is no danger. It's fine. Tian Donghua smiled bitterly. His father wouldn't do anything bad to him. He was not in danger. We have already let Yang Ming down once. We can't let him down a second time. Ah. Wang Shui was stunned after listening to Tian Donghua's words. Yang Ming. It's nothing. You pay attention to the class. I will talk to you about this later. Tian Donghua waved his hand and walked out of the classroom. Looking at Tian Donghua, who entered and left the classroom as if he was going through the city gate, the teacher could only smile helplessly. University was like this. If you didn't study, the teacher wouldn't care about you. The attendance was occasionally called by the tutor. In other cases, they were basically left to their own devices. The first semester of freshman year was better, but no one cared after that. Especially for students like Tian Donghua who spent money, the teachers knew what was going on in their hearts. They were even more negligent in their management. Tian Donghua quickly ran out of the teaching building and ran in the direction of the school gate. Tian Donghua was angrier as he thought about it. His father promised him not to touch Yang Ming. As a result, his father actually called Yang Ming behind his back and wanted to trick him to go to Donghai. This made Tian Donghua extremely angry. After hesitating, Tian Donghua picked up the phone and dialed his father's phone number. Hello. Donghua. Tian Long saw his son's phone call and was stunned. It was reasonable to say that Tian Donghua rarely took the initiative to call him. Dad, where are you? Tian Donghua asked faintly. I am at the company. What's wrong? What's the matter? Tian Long was more and more baffled. Why did his son call him like this? Dad, I heard that you asked Yang Ming to go to Donghai. You want to know about my usual movements at school. Is this really the case? Tian Donghua wanted to expose his father's conspiracy, but the other party was his father after all. Tian Donghua could only beat around the bush. Ah! Tian Long's face suddenly changed. Yang Ming told you. Yeah, Yang Ming will naturally tell me. Tian Donghua said coldly, Yang Ming is my buddy. If you want to understand me, he will definitely agree with me first. So it's like this. I just want to find Yang Ming and ask about your situation at school. Tian Long's tone became a little unnatural. The feeling of being caught by his son on the spot made him very uncomfortable. Is this really the case? Tian Donghua snorted. Do you think I will believe it? Of course, it's true. However, now that his son had seen through his plan, it was impossible for him to catch Yang Ming, so it didn't make sense to say this now. Even if Tian Long wanted to make a move on Yang Ming, it was more difficult. Okay, I promise you. Tian Long said helplessly. Tian Donghua didn't say anything and silently hung up the phone. Is my father's promise really useful? Tian Donghua smiled bitterly. In fact, he also understood. He was very clear in his heart. If it was useful, his father wouldn't have gone back on his words after promising him before. If his father really went back on his words, could he really break away from the relationship between father and son? Tian Donghua still smiled bitterly. In any case, they were father and son. This was an unchangeable fact. Tian Donghua could only work hard for his own beliefs. However, his father really broke his promise. What could he do? It seemed that he could only remind Yang Ming. He really didn't have any other good ideas. Standing at the school gate for a while, he saw Yang Ming's car driving over from a distance and slowly stopped beside him. Old Tian, get in the car. Yang Ming opened the door of the front passenger seat and said to Tian Donghua, who was standing by. Tian Donghua was not polite and directly got in the car. Yang Ming, I haven't seen you for a long time. I miss you. I went on a long trip. Yang Ming said, Old Tian, you are in such a hurry. Why are you looking for me? Yang Ming, I am looking for you for something. Tian Donghua hesitated, and his face showed an awkward expression. Although Tian Donghua had made up his mind to tell Yang Ming about his father's intention to harm Yang Ming, after all, the person involved was his father. Tian Donghua found it difficult to speak. Old Tian, what is the matter? Just say it. Yang Ming also saw that Tian Donghua seemed to have some difficulty speaking, so he said, why don't we find a quiet place to talk? Okay. Tian Donghua nodded. Tian Donghua was really embarrassed to talk in the car. It's just noon. Let's find a restaurant. I will treat you to a meal. Yang Ming smiled and said, well, let's find a Western restaurant. I know that there is a Russian restaurant nearby that is relatively quiet. Yang Ming drove to the nearby Persian Western restaurant. This restaurant was opened by Su Peng. Su Ping finally did not accept Yang Ming's suggestion to work with Li Dagong, because he felt that it was better to be stable with a wife and child. However, since there was a relationship with Yang Ming also asked Bao Sanli to take care of Su Ping. Although Su Ping did not work with Yang Ming, after all, they were once brothers. They cried, laughed, and went crazy together. Yang Ming still helped him open such a Western restaurant. The income was much more stable and generous than the previous billiard room. Yang Ming was also very pleased that his former brother had a good home. Everyone had their own aspirations. Chapter 12:25. Judging from the degree of familiarity between Su Ping and Yang Ming, the relationship between the two should be very solid. Then, Tian Donghua couldn't take out the money to treat him. There will be opportunities in the future. Yang Ming smiled. We were good friends in junior high school. If I give him money, he won't accept it. Instead, we will be estranged. Yang Ming, there are some things that I don't know how to tell you, but I have to say it. Tian Donghua closed the door. He looked solemn and said with a complicated expression. Old Tian, what's the matter with you? Why are you so mysterious all the way? Yang Ming was somewhat baffled by Tian Donghua's reaction. He had always been a bold and fearless character. What happened today? Although Tian Donghua's mood was unstable now, Yang Ming could use his special ability to explore his thoughts, but Yang Ming didn't do so. It didn't make sense to do so. Since Tian Donghua found him, he would definitely say it. It was better to wait for him to speak. Yang Ming, Wang Shui and I have already let you down once. Tian Donghua's face darkened. So, I, Tian Donghua, will never let you down a second time. You treat me as a brother, then I have to live up to my conscience. Yang Ming, my father is targeting you. What? Originally, Yang Ming listened to the first half of Tian Donghua's sentence, and he was still somewhat inexplicable. When he listened to the second half of the sentence, he was suddenly shocked. Old Tian, what are you talking about? You said that your father is targeting me. What do you mean? My father, he. This matter has to be explained from the beginning. Tian Donghua took out a bottle of beer from the wine cabinet behind him, opened it, and drank it in one breath. Yang Ming didn't speak, but he sat there quietly and watched Tian Donghua drink the beer. Tian Donghua's words made Yang Ming's heart tremble. Although he didn't understand why Tian Long would target him and what he was targeting, it was obvious that Tian Donghua wanted to betray his father and say such words. He had already done a lot of psychological struggle. After calming down his emotions, Tian Donghua began to talk to Yang Ming about what his father had done during this time. Yang Ming, our Tian family's position in Donghai, you should understand it, right? Yang Ming nodded, indicating that he knew. Tian Donghua saw that Yang Ming understood, so he continued to say, my father was unwilling to be under the Sun family. So, he bribed the management of the Sun family's company with the help of a mysterious boss behind the scenes. He bribed the Sun's family under house arrest. But Yang Ming was shocked after hearing Tian Donghua's words. He stood up and stared at Tian Donghua. Is what you said true? Yeah. Tian Donghua was very confused at the moment. He didn't notice Yang Ming's abnormal behavior and continued, in exchange, the behind-the-scenes boss asked my father to catch you. However, after I knew about this, I rejected it on the spot and almost fell out with him. Yang Ming calmed down his emotions and asked, you mean, the mysterious boss behind the scenes asked Uncle Tian to catch me? This is the case. Tian Donghua nodded. But last time, he had already promised me that he wouldn't touch you. Who knew that this time, he... Fortunately, you called me in advance. Only then did I know about this matter and stop you. Yang Ming, I can't hurt you. Yang Ming nodded thoughtfully. Although he didn't have any clues after listening to Tian Donghua, it seemed to be related to the previous actions against him. Another mysterious boss. Is this mysterious boss the same as the previous one? The most important thing was that Tian Donghua brought an unusual message to him. That was, the people of the Sun family were under house arrest by Tian Long. Did this include Sun Jie? Thinking that Sun Jie's phone couldn't be reached, her phone was turned off, and no one at home answered, then it was in line with Tian Donghua's words. This was a very possible thing. Thinking of Sun Jie, Yang Ming's heart suddenly tightened. You said that your father put the Sun family under house arrest and wanted to catch me to the behind-the-scenes boss? Asked Yang Ming. This is the case, but I have just called my father and scolded him. Tian Donghua said firmly, I don't care about the Sun family, but if he wants to touch you, it is absolutely impossible. I want to break off the relationship with him. Yang Ming didn't expect Tian Donghua to say such firm words. Yang Ming was suddenly moved. However, after Yang Ming listened to Tian Donghua's words, he also knew that his other plan was ruined. Originally, Yang Ming planned to beat Tian Long at his own game and go to Donghai to meet Tian Long, but now it seemed that Tian Long should have been alerted. Tian Donghua's phone call must have made him understand that his plan had been exposed, so he wouldn't easily see Yang Ming again. In fact, then again, how could it be so easy for Tian Long to catch him? Yang Ming was the apprentice of the king of assassins, Fang Tian. If there were no people around him, Yang Ming could easily escape alone in the sea of people. Tian Long wanted to catch Yang Ming, but it was simply a fool's dream. Even without Tian Donghua's snitch, Tian Long would not succeed. But now, since Tian Long already knew that Yang Ming knew his plan, then Yang Ming had no need to go to Donghai to see Tian Long. At the very least, on the surface, Tian Long would not meet up with him. Tian Long was also afraid that Yang Ming would play some tricks or even call the police. It must be known that these things that Tian Long did were dishonorable. Many things in the underworld were solved internally, and no one would call the police. But with Yang Ming joining in, it was different. Yang Ming's public identity was a college student. There was nothing wrong with calling the police and saying that Tian Long kidnapped him, so Tian Long would not take the risk to touch Yang Ming again. Thank you, old Tian. Yang Ming patted Tian Donghua's shoulder, but he was thinking about Tian Donghua's words. The shock that his words brought to Yang Ming was too great. Tian Long actually rebelled, put the Sun family's people under house arrest, and took over the Sun family's business in Donghai. This was what Yang Ming did not expect. This change came too quickly, and Yang Ming couldn't digest it. Why did so many changes happen when I went out of the country? Something happened at Mingyang Entertainment. The two vice presidents, Lu Chan and Chu Daiming, ran away. On Donghai's side, the Sun family's right-hand man, the Tian family, also rebelled against the Sun family. Wait! Yang Ming suddenly had a flash of inspiration, and some bold guesses flashed through his mind. Is the matter of Lu Chan and Chu Daiming related to Tian Long? Since Tian Long wanted to mess with him, would he start with his own business? The most important thing was that Lu Chan and Chu Daiming escaped to Donghai, which could not help but explain some problems. However, this was also Yang Ming's general judgment. Whether there was a relationship between them was not known now. He could only ask when he caught the two in the future. Yang Ming did not expect that Tian Long could not hold back. In Yang Ming's plan, Sun Jia would be his woman sooner or later, and she would go to North Africa with him. The business in Donghai would also be left to Tian Donghua to manage. In this way, these businesses in Donghai would belong to the Tian family sooner or later. Tianlong actually rebelled at this time, which made Yang Ming feel a little embarrassed. Yang Ming wanted to leave the Sun family's business to Tianlong, but now, Tianlong's rebellion made this matter advance. However, in this way, Yang Ming really had no way to give the Sun family's business to him. Although the result was the same, it was just a little earlier, but Tianlong's approach was absolutely intolerable to Yang Ming. Looking at Tian Donghua, who was distressed, Yang Ming sighed. In any case, Tian Donghua was not wrong, and his approach also made Yang Ming appreciate it. When Tianlong intended to harm him, Tian Donghua stood up bravely. Although it was more of a hindrance, this friendship made Yang Ming grateful. If I touch Tianlong, then what about Tian Donghua? If I kill Tianlong, will my relationship with Tian Donghua still be the same as before? Yang Ming shook his head. The relationship between Tian Donghua and Tianlong was different from the relationship between Wang Shui and Wang Shifan. In the end, Wang Shifan was just a father in name to Wang Shui. In fact, he did not fulfill the responsibility of a father. Wang Shui's relationship with him was not deep. Even so, Wang Shui still did something unfavorable to him under the instigation of her brother, Wang Jitao. And Tian Donghua was very close to Tianlong. If I touch Tianlong, then, thinking about this, Yang Ming felt a headache. Seeing that Yang Ming's face was somewhat uncertain, Tian Donghua didn't know Yang Ming's thoughts. He thought that Yang Ming was angry, so he said, "Yang Ming, you can rest assured. In any case, we are brothers. I can only do so much. I will use all my strength to fight against my father." Yang Ming listened to Tian Donghua's words and was somewhat moved. Sometimes, it was really hard to choose between brotherly love and morality. It was easy to kill Tianlong, but how would I face Tian Donghua in the future? Thinking of this, Yang Ming decided to test Tian Donghua's thoughts first. "Old Tian, do you know what your father is doing? That is embezzling other people's property." Tian Donghua lowered his head. To be honest, he didn't agree with his father's approach, but his father kept saying that he was doing this for the Tian family, for Tian Donghua and Tian Dongwang. Besides, Tian Donghua really couldn't interfere with what Tianlong did. What he said was useless in front of Tianlong. Otherwise, it wouldn't cause Tianlong to promise him not to touch Yang Ming, but then go back on his words afterward. If it succeeds, then everything can be discussed. As Yang Ming said this, he paused and continued, "But have you thought about what if it fails? Won't the Sun family fight back? And those who are related to the Sun family, will they turn a blind eye? At that time, your father won't just die, but he will die in an ugly way." Tian Donghua was shocked. It wasn't that he didn't think about this, but he didn't think about it. Now that Yang Ming mentioned it, Tian Donghua knew that this was not an alarmist talk, but it was really possible. Yang Ming was right. What did my father do? He took over someone's company and put their family under house arrest. If possible, would the other party spare him? My words are useless. He won't listen to me. Tian Donghua shook his head sadly. I also know that what he did was wrong, but I can't help it. Yang Ming knew that Tian Donghua was telling the truth. In Tianlong's view, Tian Donghua was just a child. How could Tianlong listen to Tian Donghua's advice? Moreover, in Tianlong's view, he did this for the good of the Tian family. If something happens to your father, what will you do? Yang Ming raised his head and looked at Tian Donghua. Tian Donghua was shocked by Yang Ming's sudden question, but Tian Donghua wasn't stupid. He immediately heard the hint in Yang Ming's words. Yang Ming, you. Tian Donghua didn't know what to say, but he could guess something faintly. Donghua, there are some things that I don't want to hide from you. Yang Ming sighed, organized his thoughts, and said, "Do you know why your father wants to catch me?" "Why?" Tian Donghua was slightly stunned and looked at Yang Ming strangely. Listening to Yang Ming's tone, he seemed to have known the resentment between his father and him. "Because Sun Jia is my girlfriend," Yang Ming said word by word. Yang Ming's words were like a clap of thunder. Tian Donghua was so shocked that he didn't recover for a long time. He opened his mouth and looked at Yang Ming incredulously. Yang Ming didn't say anything about the behind-the-scenes boss. Those were too vague. The reason that he was Sun Hongjuan's son-in-law was enough to explain Tian Long's abnormal behavior. It could also create a reason for him to make a move on Tian Long, Sun Jia. "Is she your girlfriend?" Tian Donghua looked at Yang Ming incredulously. "Could it be that my father didn't make a move on you because of the behind-the-scenes boss, but because of your relationship with the Sun family?" Yang Ming nodded and said, "As long as he doesn't get rid of me, he can't completely control the Sun family. I will definitely avenge the Sun family, so your father wants to catch me, Yang Ming. Sun Jia is actually your girlfriend. This is too surprising." Tian Donghua widened his eyes. "Why didn't I know before? How can I publicize this kind of thing?" Yang Ming smiled bitterly. "However, I'm telling the truth. You don't have to doubt it. In other words, the mysterious behind-the-scenes boss is just an excuse. In fact, there is no such thing at all." Tian Donghua asked quickly. "I don't know if there is such a person." Yang Ming shook his head. "However, he is definitely targeting me because of the Sun family." Yang Ming was a little apologetic. After all, he deceived Tian Donghua. However, this kind of kind deception was much better than direct deception. With Yang Ming's character, he wouldn't let Tian Long go. He just found a reason that Tian Donghua could accept. "Yang Ming, do you want to go against my father?" Tian Donghua was slightly stunned. "Some things must be done." Yang Ming nodded. "I must save Sun Jia. But you are not my father's opponent." Tian Donghua exclaimed, "Otherwise, I will talk to my father and ask him to let go of the Sun family." "Donghua, I know that it is difficult for you to be caught in the middle. However, I don't want you to continue to participate in this matter. It is not good for you." Yang Ming shook his head. "Tian Long is an ambitious person. If he can listen to your advice, he will not go back on his words. Once the enmity between me and him is formed, it is not so easy to resolve." Hearing that Yang Ming's address to his father changed from the initial Uncle Tian to the current Tian Long, Tian Donghua knew that Yang Ming was really determined to be an enemy of his father. In fact, Yang Ming was right. If his father listened to his advice, he could not go back on his words. His words were really insignificant in front of his father, and there was almost no substantive effect. Chapter 1226. Songjiang Industry University was one of the famous science and engineering universities in the country. The Computer Science Department of Songjiang Industry University was one of the members of many research groups. At the beginning of this year, the Dragon Code wireless protocol, which was led by the country, was developed by Songjiang Industry University. This was also one of the wireless transmission protocols independently developed by the country. Xiao Qing was the person in charge of this project. This was one of the reasons why Xiao Qing was so busy every day. Because the computer science department was understaffed, the department would recruit some graduate students as assistants every time there was a research and development project. Although graduate students were free labor, and the department would not give them a salary, the graduate students were still scrambling for it. Those who could be admitted as graduate students were generally those who were more motivated and loved learning. Those who were just idling around with the attitude of passing the test couldn't be admitted as graduate students. Therefore, in this way, being able to participate in the research and development of national key topics was a rare opportunity for personal ability training and future prospects. With the experience of participating in the research and development of national key topics, it was believed that this would be a very good qualification when looking for a job in the future. This was also the reason why many graduate students signed up when the recruitment notice came out. However, the number of participants was limited. After all, the research and development project was not a big class. It was impossible to get all the people inside. Zhou Jiejia looked at the latest announcement in the department. After seeing this news, she was suddenly ecstatic. As a veteran hacker, she had a very deep research on any kind of network protocol. However, that was just research. If one day, she could personally become a rule maker, what a proud honor it would be. Originally, Zhou Jiejia faced the computer science courses in the university with an attitude of not listening. After all, the courses in the university were really old. A lot of knowledge was no longer useful or even wrong. However, this did not mean that there was nothing to learn in the university. Sometimes, some of the extracurricular knowledge taught by the course teacher was still very bright. This time, it was definitely an unexpected opportunity. After Zhou Jiejia saw the notice, she quickly put down the things in her hands and rushed to the computer science faculty building to sign up. Although there were not as many graduate students in the computer science department as undergraduate students, even so, there were as many as 180 people. At this moment, in front of the computer science faculty building, it also presented a scene of a sea of people. The registration was handled by Li Buliang, the president of the Computer Science Association of Songjiang Industry University. Although Li Buliang was not a graduate student, because of his status in the society and his own knowledge, he was also admitted to the research team. The admission of the research team was very strict. Everyone had to fill in a form, write down what they were good at, what awards they had won, and what achievements they had achieved. After filling in the form, it was only a preliminary examination. Among these people, some of the people with potential would be selected and then interviewed. During the interview, it was naturally not as simple as just moving one's lips. The awards and achievements you have received during the preliminary review must be written out on the spot. Award winners will present their award certificates, while those with achievements will present their works. Zhou Jiejia squeezed through the crowd and squeezed to the front of the registration office. She said to Li Buliang, who was distributing the registration form. Li Buliang heard Zhou Jiejia's voice. It was like the sound of nature. In this computer science department where dinosaurs were everywhere, Li Buliang had not seen a beauty for a long time. It was not easy to see a beauty at the beginning of school. She was in the computer science department and wanted to join the computer science club. As a result, there was no news. This made Li Buliang regret that he did not get the contact information of the beauty. Now, hearing such a beautiful female voice, Li Buliang subconsciously raised his head. As a result, he saw Zhou Jiejia, the girl he saw on the first day of school. He was overjoyed. What a coincidence! It's you. Zhou Jiejia was slightly stunned. She also recognized that the person in front of her was Li Buliang, the president of the Computer Science Association. She smiled slightly and nodded to him politely. Yeah, what a coincidence. It turns out that you are responsible for the registration. Yeah, generally, this kind of activity is organized by the Computer Science Association. After all, the energy of the teachers in the department is limited, said Li Buliang. However, anyone could see the pride in Li Buliang's words. In fact, the Computer Science Association was responsible. This also indirectly proved that the authority of the Computer Science Association in the school could not be underestimated. Can you give me a form to sign up? I also want to participate in the research of the wireless network protocol. Although Zhou Jiejie was very clear about Li Buliang's thoughts, she had to ask him for help at this moment, so she had to smile and say a few words to him. Of course. Oh, wait. You are not a graduate student. Li Buliang just wanted to take out a form and hand it to Zhou Jiejie. There is an undergraduate student who also wants to participate in our research group. As Li Buliang said this, he carefully observed Sun Dimeo's reaction to see if he was angry before continuing. An undergraduate student. There are undergraduate students who also want to participate. Sun Dimeo frowned and thought it was a little funny. Generally speaking, the school said that it was recruiting graduate students. Undergraduate students would not join in the fun. Moreover, the knowledge level of undergraduate students was limited. It was useless to participate. Therefore, even if there was a project recruitment over the years, no undergraduate students had signed up. Yes, this undergraduate student is a computer enthusiast and a member of our Computer Science Association. Li Buliang said quickly. Zhou Jiejie originally intended to join the Computer Science Association, but she did not report later. However, Li Buliang was not lying. There are really undergraduate students who are interested in this. Which year is the student? Xiao Qing was also interested and asked. It's a freshman student. When Li Buliang heard Xiao Qing's question, he quickly replied respectfully, a very quiet girl named Zhou Jiejie. What? A freshman. Sun Dimeo listened to Li Buliang's answer and was stunned. He frowned and said, could it be that she wants to join in the fun? This can't be done. This is a national key project. It is not a joke. Are you, kid, interested in her and want to use this opportunity to please her? After Sun Dimeo said this, he suddenly remembered that Xiao Qing was also listening. His forehead suddenly had cold sweat. He was usually very familiar with Li Buliang. It was normal to joke, but today, the head of the department was here. If he still made this kind of joke with a student, it was a bit too much. Li Buliang was blushed by Sun Dimeo's words. He said embarrassedly, how can it be, Director Sun? Look at what you said. I just saw that she was more concerned about our project, so I came to ask you. Besides, undergraduate students want to sign up for project research. This is something that has happened for many years. Okay, you can go back. I still have things to do. Sun Dimeo just made a mistake. He was afraid that Xiao Qing would have an opinion of him, so he quickly sent Li Buliang away. Then I am leaving, Director Sunday. Li Buliang saw that there was no hope, so he left the office with his head down. However, when he left, he did not forget to say, goodbye, Director Xiao. Xiao Qing really didn't care much about Sun Dimeo's joke, but the name Zhou Jiejie was familiar. She seemed to have heard it somewhere, but she forgot. Recently, she was very busy. Xiao Qing's mind was also confused, so this thing just flashed by. She didn't take it seriously and put it aside for the time being. Li Buliang's plan was ruined. He couldn't show his ability in front of the beauty, which made Li Buliang very distressed. He was the president of the Computer Science Association. If he couldn't handle this kind of thing, how could Zhou Jiejie fall in love with him? He could only blame himself for going at the wrong time. Director Xiao Qing of the college was also in Deputy Director Sun Dimeo's office. Sun Dimeo probably wouldn't dare to make a decision. Maybe if it was another time, Deputy Director Sun would agree. Because Deputy Director Sun was still more understanding, he once cared about Li Buliang's private life and asked if he had a girlfriend. When he learned that Li Buliang didn't have a girlfriend, Deputy Director Sun also urged him to find one quickly. He couldn't delay his private life because of technology. But today, he obviously found the wrong opportunity. Seeing Li Buliang's face, Zhou Jiejie's expectant eyes suddenly dimmed. It seemed that there was no hope. In fact, after Li Buoyang left, Zhou Jiejie probably guessed that her hope was not big when she saw the scene of a sea of graduate students signing up. Although Zhou Jiejie could proudly say that she was not inferior to the people present, the school would not care about this. The school looked at your academic qualifications. Zhou Jiejie was a freshman student. How could she participate in the research of graduate students? I'm sorry, beauty. I tried my best. Li Buoyang helplessly spread out his hands. The leaders in the department said that there is no precedent. So, thank you too. Although Zhou Jiejie knew that Li Buoyang's purpose seemed to be impure, he did help her. Zhou Jiejie couldn't not express it. At least Li Buoyang didn't say that he wanted to pursue her face to face, so Zhou Jiejie pretended not to know. I have a good relationship with Deputy Director Sun in the department, but today, Director Xiaoqing arranged work in Deputy Director Sun's office, so it may be because of this reason that Deputy Director Sun rejected me. Li Buoyang defended himself. He didn't want to lose face in front of the beauty, so he pushed the responsibility away. Director Xiaoqing. Our department's director is called Xiaoqing. Zhou Jiejie heard Li Buoyang's words and suddenly asked. Yeah, our department has only one director, Xiao. Who else could it be? Li Buoyang smiled. Director Xiao is young, but her knowledge is not simple. She is involved in many key topics in China. She is a strong woman. Her scholarship is also very rigorous. When students went to university, they were not as familiar with the names of the school's directors and principals as they were when they were in junior high school or high school. Because the university was too big, these high-level leaders had little interaction with them. The most they usually dealt with were the tutors and lecturers. It was not surprising that Zhou Jiejie didn't know the name of the department's director, especially a freshman like her, so Li Buoyang was not surprised. Chapter 12:27. In fact, the reason why Chen Mengyan was anxious was that she wanted to ask Zhou Jiejie about Yang Ming's situation. Yang Ming and Zhou Jiejie were in the same class. If Yang Ming came to school, Zhou Jiejie would see Yang Ming first. For the whole morning, there was no news about Yang Ming. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun were naturally anxious. Seeing Zhou Jiejie enter the cafeteria, they quickly waved to her. Jiejie, here. Zhou Jiejie also saw Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun. She smiled and walked over quickly. However, because it was noon, there were more people in the cafeteria. Zhou Jiejie walked 2 steps and accidentally bumped into a classmate. Unfortunately, this classmate was holding a plate of fried noodles in her hand. Her hand shook, and the fried noodles fell to the ground, splashing onto Zhou Jiejie's pants. However, because she bumped into others, Zhou Jiejie naturally wouldn't blame others. She looked at the girl in front of her apologetically and said embarrassedly, I'm sorry. I bumped into you. Can I buy you a new bowl? The girl didn't snort. She was about to attack, but she suddenly saw that the person in front of her was Zhou Jiejie, so she immediately recovered her smile. It's okay. I can buy it myself. Jing Xiaolu's shoes were bought with Yang Ming when they went shopping. Jing Xiaolu naturally cherished them. Although the fried noodles didn't get on her clothes and pants, some of it splashed on her shoes, which made Jing Xiaolu feel distressed. Anyone would be angry if they were in this situation. However, when Jing Xiaolu saw that it was Zhou Jiejie, her anger disappeared. Jing Xiaolu still knew about Zhou Jiejie. Of course, it was all from Gu Xiniao's mouth. Therefore, Jing Xiaolu knew that there was a deep relationship between Zhou Jiejie and Yang Ming. It was even possible that she was one of Yang Ming's girlfriends. When Jing Xiaolu saw Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun not far from Zhou Jiejie, she was even more convinced of this point. These 3 people ran to eat together at noon. It couldn't help but explain some problems. How can that be? Let me buy it for you. Zhou Jiejie thought that the other party would also blame her. After all, it was her fault. Moreover, she had dirtied the other party's shoes. Although it wasn't to the extent of a fight, there would definitely be a few complaints. He just didn't expect her to be so peaceful. She didn't even need him to buy a new bowl of noodles for her. Jing Xiaolu was just being polite. Seeing that Zhou Jiejie insisted, she nodded and agreed. If she could build a relationship with Zhou Jiejie, she could integrate into the small circle of Yang Ming's harem. Jing Xiaolu calculated with her own thoughts. Then let's go together. Chen Mengyan was also afraid that Zhou Jiejie would suffer, so she also ran to Zhou Jiejie's side. However, seeing that Zhou Jiejie was very understanding, she was relieved. Jing Xiaolu had completely changed her dressing from the original non-mainstream to the current youthful student outfit. Chen Mengyan really didn't recognize that she was the previous Jing Xiaolu. Mengyan, I am going to accompany this classmate to buy fried noodles. Wait for me. Zhou Jiejie smiled at Chen Mengyan and explained. Chen Mengyan also witnessed the whole process of the incident before, so she nodded happily at the moment. Jing Xiaolu and Zhou Jiejie walked to the canteen's vending window together. Jing Xiaolu smiled and said, I don't plan to buy fried noodles. I just regretted it when I bought fried noodles. I was worried about what to do, but you knocked it down. Hee, this time I plan to buy a rice dish. Zhou Jiejie didn't know whether what Jing Xiaolu said was true or not, but she felt that Jing Xiaolu's character was very good. She was very approachable. She couldn't help but have a good impression of her. It seems that I have inadvertently done a good thing. Yeah. Jing Xiaolu nodded seriously. Right, my name is Jing Xiaolu. I am from the art department. Zhou Jiejie, computer science. Zhou Jiejie also quickly introduced herself. You are from the art department. Are you studying acting? No, I am studying art, but it is also related to computer science. Many of our courses are using computers to make animations. Jing Xiaolu smiled and said, I was worried about not knowing computer science students. My computer often has problems, and I don't know how to solve them. This is great. If there is a problem in the future, I will ask you. You can't refuse. Of course, there is no problem. Zhou Jiejie readily agreed. Jing Xiaolu's request was very ordinary. The two were now acquainted. Zhou Jiejie was also very happy to make friends with Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu really didn't know much about the computer's installation system and antivirus, so it couldn't be considered as lying to Zhou Jiejie. Although she wanted to deliberately get close to Zhou Jiejie, she didn't want to lie to her. After all, if she lied now and was exposed in the future, it would be bad for her. The two came to the window selling rice dish together. Jing Xiaolu ordered a beef and persimmon rice dish. Zhou Jiejie saw that the color was good, so she also ordered one. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun had already ordered, so she didn't need to care about them. When it was time to pay, Zhou Jiejie rushed to swipe her card, and Jing Xiaolu didn't argue too much. Why are there so many people today? It seems that it is not easy to find a seat. Jing Xiaolu looked at the people in the cafeteria and pretended to be emotional. Eat with us. My friend is over there. Zhou Jiejie pointed to Chen Mengyan and said. Jing Xiaolu originally wanted to eat with Zhou Jiejie, Chen Mengyan, and Lin Jiyun. She just wanted Zhou Jiejie to invite her. Now that Zhou Jiejie sent an invitation, Jing Xiaolu gladly agreed. The two returned to the table with the newly bought rice dish. Jing Xiaolu saw Lin Jiyun and pretended to be surprised. Lin Jiyun, you are here too. Lin Jiyun naturally knew Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu and her roommate, Guxinyao, were good sisters. Jing Xiaolu often went to play with Guxinyao. So, she was also very familiar with Lin Jiyun. Because of Guxinyao's presence, Jing Xiaolu couldn't be too close to Lin Jiyun. It was obvious that some of her intentions and motives were impure. If Guxinyao saw it, she would definitely scold her. So, although Jing Xiaolu and Lin Jiyun were very familiar, they never went out to play or eat together. Jing Xiaolu, what a coincidence. Lin Jiyun smiled sweetly. Lin Jiyun was a very easygoing person. She also saw Jing Xiaolu's recent changes. She didn't reject Jing Xiaolu as much as before. She just saw the dispute between Jing Xiaolu and Zhou Jijia. She wanted to persuade them, but Qin Mengyan ran ahead of her. Lin Jiyun couldn't leave because she wanted to occupy the table, so she had to watch from here. But seeing Jing Xiaolu's attitude toward Zhou Jijia, Lin Jiyun still agreed. She felt that Jing Xiaolu really learned well and wasn't as capricious as before. Jing Xiaolu. Qin Mengyan was slightly stunned. This name is so familiar. After taking a closer look, she finally recognized it. The person in front of her was the non-mainstream girl who made a scene when she was eating with Yang Ming in the cafeteria not long after she went to university. Later, she was splashed with porridge by Yang Ming. Qin Mengyan was really surprised by the huge change in the two of them. If she didn't hear this name, Qin Mengyan would never connect the two together. You, our sister Qin Mengyan. Jing Xiaolu was well-behaved and modest to Qin Mengyan. You recognized me. Qin Mengyan also confirmed at the moment that the person in front of her was the former non-mainstream girl. However, Qin Mengyan didn't think that Jing Xiaolu's politeness to Zhou Jijia was because she saw her. From Jing Xiaolu's dressing, Qin Mengyan had already seen the change. The original Jing Xiaolu was no different from a delinquent girl in the society. Now, Jing Xiaolu was more like a lively student. Yeah, I'm really sorry about the last time. Jing Xiaolu tidied up her hair and said, I was not sensible before. Now I have grown up. When she heard Jing Xiaolu say that she was not sensible before, and now she had grown up, Qin Mengyan couldn't help but smile. Now it seemed that Jing Xiaolu was still quite cute. At least, Qin Mengyan's impression of her had improved a lot. You can still remember me, hee. Since Jing Xiaolu said so, Qin Mengyan couldn't be bothered about the past. She said with relief, let's forget about the past. The most important thing is that you can change those bad habits. Thank you, Sister Mengyan. Jing Xiaolu said quickly. Why do you call me sister? Qin Mengyan was a bit baffled by Jing Xiaolu's address. I studied for a year in the morning, so I am younger than you. Jing Xiaolu quickly explained, moreover, I was in trouble last time. Thank you, Brother Yang Ming, for saving me. Otherwise, I really didn't know what to do. Now I am working in a company that Brother Yang Ming introduced to me. It's like this. Qin Mengyan really didn't know that Jing Xiaolu had met Yang Ming later. Yang Ming also helped her, but Qin Mengyan was still a bit awkward when an outsider called her Sister Mengyan. Although Lin Jiyun also called her that at home, it was a name in the boudoir. When they were at school, they still called each other by their names. Now that Jing Xiaolu called her that, Qin Mengyan thought of the things at home, so she said, call me by my name in the future. Don't call me sister. We are all classmates. It sounds a bit awkward. Well, I will call you Mengyan. Is that okay? Jing Xiaolu actually knew that Lin Jiyun called Qin Mengyan as Sister Mengyan privately because when Lin Jiyun called Qin Mengyan in the dormitory, Jing Xiaolu paid attention. However, now that Qin Mengyan didn't let her call her that, Jing Xiaolu could also understand the reason. Lin Jiyun called Qin Mengyan as Sister Mengyan because Lin Jiyun and Qin Mengyan were both Yang Ming's women. This kind of address was very secretive when they were together. Jing Xiaolu was now just an outsider. Calling Chen Mengyan like this would naturally make Chen Mengyan feel awkward. Of course, you can. Chen Mengyan gladly agreed. Jing Xiaolu originally deliberately came to get close to Chen Mengyan, Zhou Jijia, and Lin Jiyun. Jing Xiaolu naturally followed their topic. A few months of white-collar life in the company made Jing Xiaolu mature a lot and understand a lot of communication means between people. Therefore, under Jing Xiaolu's deliberate management, Chen Mengyan and the other two also accepted Jing Xiaolu as a friend. However, Jing Xiaolu was very clear in her heart that Chen Mengyan, Zhou Jijia, and Lin Jiyun only regarded her as an ordinary friend. It was absolutely impossible to integrate into their circle. Unless Yang Ming pushed her down on the bed, it was possible to achieve it. Therefore, after exchanging everyone's phone numbers, Jing Xiaolu decided to contact them more in private when she was free. Jing Xiaolu didn't expect to integrate into their circle at once. She just wanted to leave a good impression on them. Now, Jing Xiaolu also let go of her previous impetuous heart. She carefully paid attention. The women that Yang Ming liked, although they were definitely beautiful, each of them had their own characteristics, and each of them had their own strengths. Jing Xiaolu wanted to have a place in Yang Ming's heart, so she could only work on herself. However, when Chen Mengyan was about to leave after eating, she saw Zhao Ying and Wang Xiaoyan. For Wang Xiaoyan, this neighbor, Chen Mengyan had seen her a few times. Although they didn't talk much, they were familiar with each other. In Chen Mengyan's impression, she had always regarded Wang Xiaoyan as her junior high desk mate who pursued her. Therefore, she never thought that Wang Xiaoyan would have a relationship with Yang Ming. Sister Ying, Wang Xiaoyan, you are here too. After Chen Mengyan and Zhao Ying resolved the misunderstanding, the relationship between the two also restored the previous sisterly relationship, so Chen Mengyan was very enthusiastic. Mengyan, have you finished eating? Zhao Ying also smiled and nodded. Let's sit down and eat together. Although Zhao Ying knew that Chen Mengyan had finished eating, she could only pretend that she didn't know at the moment. Otherwise, if Chen Mengyan asked why she didn't go over to say hello, Zhao Ying wouldn't be able to explain. We have finished eating. You can eat. Chen Mengyan said, Sister Ying, then I will go first. I still have class in the afternoon. And, see you later. Zhao Ying smiled and waved her hand. After Chen Mengyan left, Zhao Ying sighed subconsciously. Wang Xiaoyan shook her head. Sister Ying, why are you so cowardly? If you are so overcautious, when can you get happiness? Yan, you don't understand. The relationship between you and Chen Mengyan isn't like the relationship between me and her. Zhao Ying shook her head. I used to be her teacher, and I was also Yang Ming's teacher. You said that I snatched a man from my student. This is so bad. You. Wang Xiaoyan really didn't know what to say to Zhao Ying. She pointed at Zhao Ying and was angry for a long time. Then, she said, forget it. I don't care about you. I can't do anything about it. You always have various reasons. Yan, I know that you are also good for me. Zhao Ying saw that Wang Xiaoyan really thought for her. However, Wang Xiaoyan's character was different from her own style. Zhao Ying couldn't ignore Chen Mengyan's thoughts. But my situation is really complicated. These things can only be left to fate. Since you have said so, then I have nothing to say. Wang Xiaoyan said helplessly, but you have to work hard yourself. Zhao Ying's face had a little blush, and she nodded. Tian Donghua left in a hurry before he finished eating. When Su Ping came to the private room with the waiter who served the dishes, he was surprised when he saw that only Yang Ming was left. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.